Hey, Marlon. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Julie? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. We had a little bit of rain here Saturday night, but yesterday was beautiful. I actually was on two beautiful lakes yesterday in New Jersey. One was Kittatinny Lake, which is all the way up in Sussex County, closer to the New York border, and then Lake Apacong, which is 5 minutes from my house. So, two beautiful bodies of water. We had a really nice day yesterday. So, people think, New Jersey, they're just seeing Newark, what's going on there. That's not what New Jersey's about. That's not why we're called the Garden State.
Isn't it terrible? Isn't it terrible? Like how they're really, a New Jersey problem. And oh my God, it's terrible.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many beautiful things to see in New Jersey. The Jersey Shore, people think, oh my God, they think in the Jersey Shore, Seaside Heights, with the reality TV show. It's not like that at all. You go down to certain beaches, that are absolutely beautiful that you wouldn't even know about. And, and then, like I said, you come up by this way, it's all beautiful lakes and everything up this way, woods, and, hopefully, they don't keep taking our forestry away from us and, just building nonsense. So that's what we have to preserve.
Well, you know what? Hey, I had a great weekend myself. Me and my wife went to a birthday party for my great nephew. And the whole time he wanted some kind of surprise party, right? The kid asked for a surprise party, but it was after his birthday, so his mom like kind of broke down because the kid gave her a bunch of shit about not celebrating his birthday. Hey, it was hilarious. It was just the joke of the day. But anyway, yes, had a great day yesterday. Hey, maybe we could say hello to Truth, and Tinfoil came up. How you doing, Truth? Good morning. Happy Monday.
Yeah, sure. I don't know anybody who's ever referred to Monday as happy.
Well, you know what? Hey, you got to start your day off.
Yeah, you got to be positive. Truth, got to be a little positive. Show some positivity.
I positively agree that Monday sucks. How's that?
Well, you know what? I used to think of it like that. The older I get, the more and more I look forward to Monday. Uh, uh, go ahead, Tinfoil.
Just here working, ready for the weekend already because I worked all weekend. I had a site that they needed help installing equipment at the last minute, so I had to be available remote. But I survived. I'm here. I hope you guys are doing good.
Way to back me up, Tim. Nice.
It's all good. I hate Mondays.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you grow up with Garfield, John? Come on, man, Marlon.
Well, no one likes Mondays, but you got to put a positive spin on it. Nobody likes Mondays. It's back to work, it's back to school, it's back to whatever, but, it is what it is, right? We always have Mondays, and the fact that we're on this side of the earth is good. So it's a good day for that.
If I had beef jerky, that would make it better.
Tim and his beef jerky. He loves that stuff.
Especially the barbecue kind. That's really good stuff.
Hey, sorry about that. Tinfoil, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm hanging in there, just surviving. Worked all weekend. I'm with Truth on this one. I'm not a fan of Mondays, but like I said, if I have beef jerky, especially the barbecue kind, I'm good. So I'm hanging in there.
Well, hey, I put a post out this morning about great moments, right? Great moments are defined by great opportunity. And you know what? Maybe we should be kind of resorting back to like, hey man, finding out what you really want to do in this world. You know, what people are looking for. I think maybe some people are lost, but you know what? I love Herb Brooks. I think he's a hero of his time. I think the work ethic and what he put into it is just such an inspiration. And I can't tell you how much I love that movie. And I think Kurt Russell nailed that part in Miracle like nobody else could have. I love that movie. It's so inspirational. We should all be reflecting back. So that's the way I'm feeling about my Monday morning, Truth.
I didn't catch the movie you referred to. Sorry, I was
The
in the other room.
Miracle, 1980 hockey team. You know, it was just unbelievable. Give Americans to once again dream, and not only dream, but to believe, dude. It's poetry what the man wrote.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Just, you know, that's sometimes things affect me like that. I don't know why, but they do.
There's also Slim Jims.
I hate Slim Jims. Dude, do you know how long it's been since I had a Slim Jim? And you know what? You know why? You know why I stopped eating Slim Jims, Tim? Is because they would give me the diarrhea. All right, you eat 2 or 3 of them suckers, man. You're not having a good day on the hopper. I'm telling you.
So you're saying Macho Man spent a lot of time on that toilet?
I would think, yeah, you know, all that grease and shit that comes out of it, Tim. Oh man, they got better as you chewed them, though.
That's when you got to make your own. That's what I'm learning, is trying to figure out how to make my own.
Well, they make all kinds of styles, but you know, it's funny that you say Slim Jim, right? They're on the list, aren't they, Truth?
Oh yeah, that's just read the ingredients of any of that crap. It's so bad. Bioengineered foods. What does that mean? What? How is a food bio? No.
Well, hey, couple of things that are affecting us locally. Did anybody see some of the things on YouTube about them dropping boxes of ticks on the East Coast here? And everybody in Jersey's complaining how bad the ticks are and this and that. And my wife's got a tick bite on her right now. It's quite concerning. And you know what about Google releasing 64 million mosquitoes? What's this all about? I mean, they are messing with Mother Nature. I hope they get slapped with it. I really do.
Yeah, they were bad for a minute in Tennessee, and then they just kind of faded away. You know, no matter how manipulative little Dr. Evil piece of crap is, you can't beat Mother Nature. You can try, but you just can't do it.
Yeah, come on. Didn't the cartoon with the Heat Miser and Freeze Miser, didn't that like nail it home for everybody? Never mess with Mother Nature. She had the birds living out of her hat.
That's right.
That's what I always imagined, you know, the grandmother still had some color in her hair. And
Well, everybody's quiet. What's going on? People still waking up? See, because it's Monday. Y'all don't believe
Monday,
me.
man.
See?
oh no.
Me and 10 were on to something.
So, Truth, yesterday, I was right before you got in the space, I was telling Marlon how I, was at a couple of lakes in New Jersey. One was way up in Sussex County called Kittatinny. In Sussex County, if you don't know, that's the furthest county you can go into before you go into New York or Pennsylvania or whatever direction you're in for New Jersey, Sussex County. Anyway, they had this, there was a lot of antique stores and then a lot of, people just selling their homemade stuff or, so we stopped at a couple of little flea market type things. And I just want to let you know, my husband is very biblical, so he reads it, he more than me. But we bought a book yesterday called Lessons from History, the great controversy that made us free. So I'm going to enjoy reading it, and it just brought back to about how, you're talking about a lot of the Bible passages. Really, if you read them, then you'll understand about America and what they're doing. So I just wanted to let you know we bought that yesterday from a guy that was selling lots of Bibles and books and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. I highly recommend Christianity and Liberalism by John Gresham Machen, if you're German, or Machen. But
Yeah, but even
yeah,
that
yeah,
term,
sure.
even the liberal term that you just quoted, they have distorted the definition of that, dude.
Well, this was written in 1921. Man, you got to read it. I'm telling you, it's only 184 pages or whatnot. It'll blow your mind like it was written today. And good on you, Julie. It's good to read stuff that
Hey, Julie, do
is positive.
you guys, let me ask you a question, Julie. When you guys, do you guys ever like antique or anything like that? I know you said you were interested in old books like that, but, there's a couple of trips that I do want to take that I just want to, I've never been to Tennessee. I kind of want to cruise through Tennessee, and I want to stop at all these little antique shops and mom and pops and kind of experience, Western North Carolina. I want to go to Asheville and actually see some of the devastation. So there's definitely some things on the list. But do you guys do that?
Like we definitely have stopped at antique shops, but the problem is that I have not done the research to know what things are really worth something. There's people that actually do that for a living. They go to, like, even just you go to yard sales, or you go to some of these pop-up ones like we went to yesterday, and they can find a lot of treasures. They find a lot of good things. I don't have that eye for that because I don't obviously don't invest the time in it, but there's just some cool stuff I wish I had in my house was like an older house and I could decorate it with even antiques that
Have you?
For me, might not seem like a lot, but could be worth a lot, or be worth something. I just don't have that eye.
Have you saw this Filth to Fortunes, that special on, I guess it's Discovery Channel or something like that, and they go into some hoarders' houses and they have a tough time cleaning. Not same hoarders, but they go in, they clean out the house, and then they sell all the albums and all kinds of fun. It was cool. It's a pretty cool show. I like it.
Well, that's my buddy Matt Paxton. He used to be on Hoarders. I love that. I love that man for some reason. I don't know why, but I love Matt Paxton, and he's now on this show. He used to be on my Hoarders. So
I used to enjoy Pickers, but this guy, he kind of breaks it out a little bit better and kind of puts a drama to it that the Pickers didn't get, and I like the show.
Well, we went to the American Pickers. We went to their shop, and I'm doing air quotes, in Tennessee. Again, he is a collector, that guy from American Pickers. However, he's not. It's me for TV kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right. So the question then, Julie, is: did you guys ever question that, gay or not gay, the American Pickers?
He's got a little sugar in his tank. There's definitely something running there. But what was that? What was that other one? So the Pickers. You talk about it's not as grand as they make it look. It's and the pawn shop in Vegas. When I went there, I was surprised. On TV, it looks like this big giant place. It's this thin little thing in Vegas. It's not like it seems on TV.
Oh, dude, you can barely get through. It's just a little hallway with one counter. All the counter that they show, that's it. That's the whole store.
Yeah, the rest of that is all fill-in.
So we talked about doing a trip, just like I said, Julie. You know, we want to do Tennessee. And we've never been there before. We just want to, we just want to take a trip there and check that out and kind of go through Asheville. I know I want to visit that one taxidermist in Asheville who had a problem. I'd love to talk to that kid, you know, and it's just a couple of different little trips like that. We're going to plan.
Oh, definitely. Remember, what was it last year when Christian and I went? We drove down to Tennessee, and we were in Nashville a couple of days, but then the best part of the trip was in Gatlinburg. But just driving across the country like that, well, not across the country, down south that way, going through Virginia, going through other states, and it's a really pretty drive. And like I said, you know, when I was telling you about it, like people don't go crazy. You don't find crazy drivers and people cutting off the truckers and stuff until you hit Pennsylvania. Then it's like all hands on deck. But really pretty drive. You and your wife should definitely do it. It's such a nice drive down there to go down south and check it out. I mean, obviously go different places and that you want to check out in Tennessee and, you know, maybe North Carolina, South Carolina, but definitely drive it. Don't fly down there.
Yeah, I've never driven through the Skyline Drive, the Smoky Mountains. I'm thinking about going to visit my brother in Alabama, and I don't know, to make some kind of loop.
Well, Tennessee borders 9 different states, so you can kind of cover a lot of ground once you make it here.
Yeah, and driving in the Blue Ridge Mountains is beautiful, Marlon. Beautiful.
Yeah, you would think I live that close to it, I would see this as be like something that we do, and it's just not. It's like crossing over the Mason-Dixon line. You know, us Yankees don't want to do it.
Oh, man, here we go again.
You know what?
But Marlon, I have to say, you know, even so, I mean, you know, and I'm sure Truth is going to get me on this, but you really need to come up to this part of New Jersey. It's absolutely beautiful, and there is so many different antique shops. There's so many different places, little towns that are up here. You would love it in this part of Jersey.
So I know it. I know it pretty well. I mean, you know, I'm real familiar with 46 there, and you know, up above 33, and you know, I've seen.
You gotta come up. Have you ever hunted Stokes?
No, never hunted Stokes, but we did hunt Warren, where the Water Gap is.
Yes. Yeah. Stokes is right where we were yesterday. We were right by Stokes State Forest. So that's really pretty. It's just so beautiful up there. I mean, that's where I just was last weekend, you know, at the Crawfish Festival. Not that I camped, but I was there all weekend.
No, in northern Jersey, especially the Douglas Trail. Like if anybody ever does this, right, and anybody ever goes into Pennsylvania, goes across the bridge, Philadelphia, Delaware Water Gap, you know, yada, yada, yada. Take the Douglas Trail. I mean, there are hemlocks and ferns, and those mountains are covered with laurel. And right now, the laurel is all bloomed. It must be a sight. Hey, before we go on much further, I don't think a lot of people can hear us in the crowd. I think maybe we're having some kind of problems.
Huh.
Also, like and reshare the space, guys. Let's get some people in here. I think there's only 6 reposts so far. So if you can do that, that would be great for Marlon.
Well, hey, Goats, can you hear us, dude? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Anybody else? Sonny? Anybody?
It looked like a lot of people were dropping in and out, so that's all.
Rusty, can you hear anything? Give a thumbs up if you can hear me, Rusty.
Pepperoni sticks.
You might have to reset the space.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
there's thumbs. There's a thumb. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yep, you got thumbs up from Rusty, Angelina, IW.
Good.
Seems like they can hear. All right.
Okay. So I got a little break this morning. I'm sitting here waiting for my inspector to inspect our lead rock. So, got a little bit of time, but I might have to cut it short. We'll see what happens, what time he gets here.
Well, let me know if you need some help. I can help out for a little bit.
Amen.
Yo, Julie, so does Callahan still exist up there in northern Jersey?
Callahan's. What is Callahan's?
Hot dog joint, like a drive-through and all that crap.
There's a lot of hot dog places up here, but I never heard of Callahan's. I have to Google that one and say because I don't know about that one.
All right.
my wings. How are you today?
I hope everybody had a good weekend. Um,
Love,
oh,
you're coming in real
so
broken. No wings.
Hi, Susan. How are you today?
Good morning, my fellow Americans. You know, I've been thinking a lot of what Trump said on his True Social. I think it was last week about Ron DeSantis once he leaves. Because, well, you know, he's got to finish out his term, but I think he might be pretty good in my administration. So I'm thinking about it and thinking about it. What if Ketanji Jackson was nominated by an auto pen, which would make her nomination illegal and fraudulent, and fraud vitiates, right? So, what if she's removed from the Supreme Court and he nominates Ron DeSantis to be the next Supreme Court justice? I that just hit me a few days ago, and I wanted to ask everybody else's opinion.
That's sounds like it's very plausible. I heard him say that about having him be part of the administration. What part of that I don't know. So that definitely can be plausible. And she votes against everything. Like usually even when it's like a 9-1, it's her that's voting against everything. So yeah, and she's very volatile. Yeah. I can
And
see
she's
that
dumb as a rock.
Yep. Yep.
I just wanted everybody else's opinion. I think it's brilliant. Everyone, really hates Ron DeSantis. He's my governor. He's been great governor. But they have to understand he ran for president probably because Trump asked him to, so he take votes away from Nikki Haley. Because Nikki Haley came in second in Iowa. And I knew DeSantis was going to drop out after Iowa, and he did. And I tried to tell the DeSantis voters in some of those spaces that he's going to drop out. He's going to drop. No, you don't understand what he did. He dropped out right after Iowa. I'm just saying, I think they've been together for a very long time. He's a resident of Florida. Trump is a resident of Florida. He's extremely conservative. I'm going to get rid of my property tax come 2026. I'm so excited about this. So, with that being said, I think he would make a great Supreme Court justice. He's young, he's smart. He was a JAG for the military. So, I think he knows a lot of shit that we don't think he knows.
Well, I think so too. And remember when that whole happened, that when he was running for president and how they hated, well, they didn't hate, I don't know about hate, but the dislike they had for each other and what they were doing. And it's just funny that as soon as, he dropped out and, he went back to just being the governor of Florida, things chilled out. So yeah, they're definitely could have been underlyings if you really look into that. And like they said, like he says it all the time, central casting, things are going on and you have to really pay attention to understand what's happening. Just like look at this race out in California. I mean, I don't know. Could this all be, a total setup? I don't know. I think so. That's my opinion. And that's what I say when I talk about these conspiracy things that have seemingly come all true. I'm saying it's my opinion, just watching the whole thing, that this was a setup that is in the making, and this is going to blow apart a lot of the elections. And the fact that he knows that they weren't going to pass that Save America Act, but he keeps throwing it out front there. And what we're seeing in real time happening in California right now, the woman that was in third place, I forgot her name. She didn't even win her district, but yet now she surpassed Pratt. So yeah, whatever his name is, yeah, Spencer. So it's just kind of funny to see this. So yeah, it should be interesting, Susan.
Yeah, and don't forget Marco, little Marco, remember? 2016. Marco Rubio is the best Secretary of State this country has ever had, probably other than Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, another thing that's my personal opinion. I just have a feeling that he is going to be our next president. That's what I'm saying. Not that I want to jump the gun, but that's what I'm saying. I don't see JD Vance being the president. I really don't. I don't see him being the president. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm definitely for Marco. If he runs, don't know whether he will or not. Maybe Trump will, push him to run. But if he's running in a primary against JD Vance or any other people in the Republican Party, because we got quite a few. I like that Brandon Gill from Texas. He's just outstanding. We have so many good Republican young people that could run for president, and they'd be very, very good. America first. But I'm definitely going with Marco. He's my guy, and he used to be my senator, so I think he's doing a great job. And don't forget, he was part of the Gang of Eight. Now, why would you say, oh, why would Trump trust him, blah, blah, blah? Why do you think he was in the Gang of Eight? To keep an eye on what they were doing. People just don't see this. They don't look at the big picture. He told everything that the Gang of Eight was doing with President Trump. I'm just saying.
You look at it too. You look at the Republican, senators and congressmen that are not rerunning or that have lost their district. I mean, if you look at it, the Dems, yeah, there's a lot of dirty ones, and there's ones that are really going to go down. And I think that's going to happen in this administration's time. But really, a lot of the bad was these dirty Republicans, because they really were never Republicans. So, it's kind of, people are like, oh, look at all these Republicans that are being primaried, or look at them, dropping out, or look at them not coming back and everything. And they're trying to deflect. But there's a reason. There's a reason. These Republicans that are all being either primaried or that are dropping out themselves, they are just as dirty as some of these big Democrats that are out there. So don't fool yourselves, people.
Absolutely. And what's great about it, you got Tillis, you got Cornyn, you got Bacon I think he's out of Missouri, I'm not sure. All not running for re-election or got beat. That tells you a lot. And someone said once, pay attention to the resignations and not running for re-election. Just saying. Thanks for the mic, guys.
Oh, no problem, Susan. Thank you for talking. Yeah, there's lots of good things going on, within the states. And I did put in the bubble Trump's latest truth, which said that both sides of Israel and Iran are looking to do immediate ceasefire following negotiations on peace, and he capitalized that, are protecting subjected to ignorance or stupidity getting in its way. The blockade will remain in place and is in full force in effect until the final deal, which is capitalized, is reached. Things should move quickly. Thank you for your attention in this matter. So it's good. I noticed prices are starting to go down with gas, by me at least. I don't know about anybody else, but where last week they were in the high fours, almost $5, they are now $4.13 is what the lowest I saw. So slowly they're trickling down. So that's a good sign. I hope that keeps happening.
Yeah. What's your state gas tax up there?
Oh God, it's ridiculous. I think it's 4.5%.
Our average gas price down here is $3.89. So the average price of gas nationwide is $4.22.
Yeah, Murphy just raised it raised it more. Marlon might know the exact amount, or maybe it's not 4.5%. That's what he raised it more. So I'll find out the actual number. But yeah, that's the reason our gas prices are so ridiculous. It's because of the state taxes that are being imposed on it. So let me look that up.
Do you guys have state income tax up there?
Yes.
I think it's okay. Rusty tinfoil. You guys got anything to add?
Yeah, I'm done. Sorry about that.
No worries, man. Just making sure we don't have more silence here unless I'm this.
Well, I just figured I talk too much, so.
Well, hey, not to change the subject, but I want to talk about something else real quick too. And look, there was a couple of spaces that were talking about it, the Iran conflict here, right? I don't know if you guys really understood that. Hey, some missiles came out of Yemen, right? Yemen towards Israel. So here's the problem this morning. You're going to see that both of those straits, the Straits of Hormuz, and then down at the Persian Gulf at Yemen, they also have the same boom on the logistics lines that are going through here. So it's not just Iran. Yemen is the problem also. Yemen, there's a lot of problems that come out of Yemen. So, I'm hoping that there's going to be a quick, swift retaliation here to put it away. Sounds like they're constantly looking for these one-way drones, and that's really clouding the system. Is the way they explained it today.
Those are the Houthis, right, Marlon?
Yes, exactly. The Houthis from Yemen. Now they've been a sore spot there my entire life. I mean, an American would never travel to Yemen, right? Only because it's dangerous, man. This has been one of the capital of harboring some of these terrorists has been Yemen.
Does anybody know about Judge Cooper and how he put an order in? Now, I don't understand why he thinks he has Article 2 privileges and power. I don't understand these liberal judges. He's an Obama appointed. He just said that Trump has to do away with the 39 countries that are all basically enemies of or bad people that would emigrate over here from entering our country. So he says, nope, you have to allow them to come in. Now, whether Trump will do that, whether it will go to the Supreme Court real quick, but these liberal judges just think they have Article 2 powers, and they don't. And if you grok it, grok 39 countries that Trump has banned coming our country. And they're really bad countries. A lot of these people that have come into this country have already murdered and raped and pillaged our country. And a lot of them are Islamic countries too. So if you grok it, you'll see. And you're talking about Sudan, South Sudan, the Congo. I mean, it's just mind-boggling the amount of countries that really, really send bad people over here.
Well, then they play on the libtard mind of, oh no, it's refugees. They're trying to escape. The poor people. Oh my goodness.
That's where they start plucking on your heartstrings. That's what Nancy Pelosi does. That's what Chuck Schumer does. How can you act like this to these people? Yada yada yada. This is what they say. This is how they use the mainstream media against it. I mean, they are the mainstream media. I couldn't believe CNN. They were actually like congratulating the Iranians for doing this strike. I swear to God, that was the sentiment out of CNN last night and this morning. It's terrible. It was pretty.
We're the biggest enemy of the people here in this country is the media.
Well, did anybody listen to Hegsteth, his little speech over the weekend? I mean, he basically said, there's Americans working against Americans. I mean, it's basically what he's saying.
Oh, we all see it, man. It's a damn shame that we're even here. I just want to throw a reminder out. These young men and women that are out on these ships out there in the Strait of Hormuz and all that crap, 24/7. Their stress level. If during wartime, if you don't understand that, it doesn't matter if you're engaged or not. The stress level of knowing at any moment you can be attacked. These are really brave young people that are out there serving our country right now, and just try to keep them on your mind and your hearts. Imagine.
Think about this.
You know,
Think about this, right? You're talking about American sons and daughters, right? They're over there fighting against. Hey, they're told, where to go, what to do. I mean, it's quite despicable to see these people working against their own sons and daughters on the front line. That's what I feel like CNN was doing. That's what I feel like MSN is making a mockery out of Trump and his administration. And he doesn't know what he's doing. And it was supposed to be a couple of weeks. Now it's 2 months. I mean, it's like one thing after another to demoralize what demoralize what do they call that?
well, there's no patriotism, so you're not seeing.
That's not what I'm feeling. To demoralize these combat, frontline troops. Can you imagine what they're listening to? And are they making them pick sides? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you now going to, if you had CNN and they went over there and there's some deployed troops and they're listening to this rhetoric, are they trying to divide our armed forces? I mean, do you think that some of these people are weak-minded enough to do that and then not follow the orders when they're given? I mean, there's a chain of command thing there, right? I mean, do you think they're sheltered from this outside news?
Well, when you're in hostile territory, the only thing on your mind, right? I'm telling you, dude, is just let this be over quick. You feel you can kick ass, right? But still, it's that underlying thing. I can't even explain it.
Well, what are we to do? Are we here just to rah 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 here, or am I worried about my child that's over in Poland, or am I worried about my child that's on a ship there in Iran or in the Persian Gulf or any of these dangerous ports? Now look, I feel very confident. Maybe I know a little bit better than others. These defense systems that these ships have is remarkable. Even back when I was a kid, they were using AI on the Wasp, right? This was an anti-aircraft ammunition defense system, right? My sister actually worked on it, wrote the programs for it. They were using AI back when I was a kid, and she said when they built this program, this machine was able to learn its mistakes. This was way back then. So I feel pretty confident. If my child was on the Jacob Jones or whatever, I'd be pretty confident because hey, these defense systems are there.
Well, there's no sailors lip sync ships, by the way, Marlon, as far as scuttlebutt and all that.
You know what? Funny you say that. Shell Space is exactly that's the actual caption of it today. Even the Allies. Crazy. Well, Drew, how you doing? And then to Julie and Truth. I gotta step away another minute. I'll be right.
Hey, Marlon, great to hear you, man. Right now, I'm busy today. Yeah, what you said, Truth, about the troops in Saudi Arabia just happened. What is it, the Prince Sultan Air Base? U.S. troops occupied by Saudi and U.S. troops. Two large explosions near the base. So Iran is apparently striking U.S. troops locations again. And like you said, 2 missiles from Yemen, ballistic missiles from Yemen for the first time. And if they shut down that bar or whatever it is that's straight down there, the second thing to the Red Sea, that Dom, whatever that is, that's going to be like world economic ending situation. I mean, like oil is already getting so low right now, and that they know that, and they say if we don't stop hitting to get everybody out of Lebanon, which we'll never do, they are going to close that and attack all the freaking Persian Gulf oil infrastructure and water salination plants. That'll just, I mean, this could really screw up the economy for the world. I don't know about us because we got, I still think our oil is going to go, I mean, our gas is going to go up to like $15, I can see now, instead of 10. I used to say 10, but Israel strike 15 targets in Iran also, hitting the manufacturing plants, the international Tehran airport, and some oil infrastructure over there too. So we're actually, it's just all on again. So I want to ask Truth, if you were like the general, after we bombed them the first time, we like that big bombing campaign, isn't that the time, if you're going to do something, you go in there now with shock and awe. You send in, get your uranium out of there and get your boys out of there quick. Now they've already started undigging the roads, undigging the missile launchers, fixing stuff. You can see all this on satellite. It's verified. So we're giving them time to rebuild the freaking city. That's going to endanger our boys. I mean, I don't know what Trump's doing over there. He's screaming at freaking Netanyahu. What are you doing? You're screwing up this deal. I mean, this thing is just a big cluster. You know what?
But let me say something, okay? This is typical Iranian behavior. Yep. Okay. If you didn't think, and listen, you know what? I think only the Generation X would totally understand this. They took that hostage situation in 1979 and stretched it out so far until Reagan got elected. When Reagan got elected in November, that Ayatollah Khomeini changed his whole tune. Well, you know what? I think you're going to see something happen here to the point where, you know, it's either the people are going to start speaking up, but it just looks like typical Iranian behavior. You know, think about it. They're on the balls of their ass, right? Well, are they? You know, they're talking about retaliation against the world. That's what they're talking about. Now, we're expected to do a peace deal with somebody that we've had our foot on their neck for the last 2 months, and they're not going to give in. They're going to go to the debt. There's no way that the Iranian people are ever going to make an agreement with the U.S. Good luck.
They're just trying to wait it out. They're waiting for Trump's era to be done. That's what they've always done. They'll just sink in and just try to wait it out. And the question of if I were a general, first off, I don't have the temperament for it. Secondly, I don't have all the intel. The intel that these people have, they know way more than we do. We're just speculators. We're just on the outside looking in without all the information. So there's no way I could say either way what I would do. You wouldn't want to ask me, as the simple man that I am, what I would do. So there you go.
Jeannie, if you want to push in there, Jeannie, how you doing?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're just
Yep,
fine. We'll go
good.
back to you, Kurt, and let you respond.
Okay. The one thing that we do not talk enough about is the number of Islamic crazy people that are here on our land. They have infiltrated us across the nation. And you can't tell me that there's not that component that has to be considered in all of this. So that's all I had to say.
Well, Jeannie, you know, I've explained this a couple of different times. You know, I've been exposed to the Islamic community. I've worked in their communities. I hear the rhetoric that comes out of them. And, you know, it's the same. It's the same because, hey, they're getting painted as this big, giant red X, and everybody who's Islamic is going to pay the price, right? And unfortunately, it's just not the case. It's a very small percentage of the Muslims that are actually radical, right? Most of these Muslims that are here, they're looking for community outreach. They're looking for park benches and community services. That's what they're talking about. Now, I'm not going to tell you that those Islamic voting bases aren't manipulated. I can't say that. I don't know that. You see it in northern Minnesota, north of Minneapolis. That's Omar's district. He has captured the electoral system, and he did the same thing in North Philadelphia. They did the same thing in Camden. They're doing the same thing in North. You see it, and now these politicians are rising to power, Deanie. So in the back of my head, yes. Hey, do they have Islamic ideologies? They do. But most of them are more American than most Americans, Deanie. I have to admit that. I'm not saying it's not a problem, Deanie. I'm not saying it's not a problem. But there's a lot of problems. It's not just the Islamic, the radical Islamic.
Yeah, I mean, they've been saying that for a long time. Whenever I go into a 7-Eleven, I'm like, whoa. But I did notice in 7-Elevens, like these guys disappear. I'll make friends with them for like a month, and all of a sudden they're gone. I'm like, and I was like, he's there every single day, and then he's gone. But they get transferred, I guess. But it is kind of scary. You don't know. I'm like, where do they get transferred to? Why aren't they here anymore? But I'm just being paranoid, I guess. But
Sure, it's the same thing. It's gas stations. It's Cumberland Farms. It's all kind. And then it's not just the Islamic. Go look at the Russian Luke Oil. They do the same shit. Those guys will go in there, be there for a couple of months, and then boom, they're gone. Hey,
go ahead.
No, you Dad, you respond, and then we'll go on it.
It's just like what's giving me a stomach ache lately is when you listen to these freaking Americans. We're definitely winning. And they're saying like they're Iran, right? And they got a lot of people on these pages, like 700, 800 people listening to this crap, right? And I come in, I go, what do you mean winning? What is a win to you? I mean, what happens? We can obviously kick, like when I heard Ukraine and Russia, I'm like, this is stupid. A little tiny country saying they're going to fight Russia. If Russia wanted to, they'd just walk over there and just walk over all of them, right? I mean, that's what I was thinking, but they make things like operations.
Sure, let's pick that out, right? And really, maybe some Americans will come up with some other opinions, right? If I was Putin and I was in that position and I was going to go overtake Ukraine, the very first thing I would do was cut the power. As soon as you cut the power, all legs are cut out from under these people. So to sit here and watch the rhetoric of what's his name, the sweater guy,
Zelensky.
Think about this rhetoric back and forth. There's a reason that power wasn't cut, right? Isn't this the game that we're all playing? Don't you think we're in some kind of like informational war that we really don't know what's going on? But yet, man, they got Congress swayed. They were able to give them $400 billion in cash and weapons. They got the Congress.
See, because they're all getting funding from like the military machine and all these funding groups, and that's what really makes me sick. I mean, it makes me sad. All these Americans just living everywhere in poverty. Teenagers can't buy a house till they're 38. Now they say it's 41 now is the average beginning rate.
But dude, that's a whole separate problem, True. Right? You know what? And half of me, look, I put a post out today. Look, you make your own opportunities in this world. Nobody's going to give you shit. Corporate's definitely not going to give it to you. If you're waiting for opportunity to come and knock on the door and take you out of the house, oh, here's your opportunity. That shit don't happen. That's not the real life dream, right? So look, that problem has nothing to do with the problem we're talking about. That is lack of intestinal fortitude out of our kids. Is what that is, True. I don't want to hear these excuses, dude. I was given nothing. Zero. Nobody gave me anything. My father was poor, right? I don't want to hear it. It's the lack of motivation to our kids, us as parents. They didn't instill those kids with what they needed. And now they're looking for handouts. Now they're looking for the easy win. That shit ain't the
Right.
American dream, dude.
And they end up cutting down capitalism when it's basically free enterprise. What you're saying they should cap, that's their advantage, right? That's their dream. The dream is free enterprise. And quit thinking about yourself, Marlon, not you, but I mean, when these kids start a business, they always think, I want to make money for me. No, here's what happens in free enterprise. You need to make money for your 10 friends, right? Teach them how to make money, and then you'll have money. You guys all make money together. Don't put a lid on their head. Start a business where they can all grow together. That's free enterprise. There's no lid on our heads, but the kids aren't even taught that in school. I love what you just said, Marlon. That's the most important thing, what you just said. We have to have a whole space on that. I could talk for hours on that, dude.
Lack of work ethic, right? I was given, I was forced the work ethic. I wasn't given, I was forced, right? And if I wanted the Jordache, or I wanted the Z Cabaricis, or I wanted the Guess jeans jacket, I had to go work for it. My man didn't give it to us, right? You had to go work for it. So I worked on boats since I was 12 years old. I was a bricklayer's helper when I was 15. I was running a crew by the time I was 21. There was no excuses for these kids. And in fact, these kids are supposed to be so smart. There's so many opportunities for kids to go make money out there. I got one for you, right? If you set up a small business where you were cleaning solar panels, you'd make a mint if you were a kid, if you wanted to work hard. And then you show the people the evidence of when you clean these solar panels to how much energy you actually produce. So actually the kids cleaning the solar panels is actually saving you money. There's a lot of ways for kids to make money in this country.
Yeah, and they can the tax write-offs and everything too.
Look, even that, right? Oh, they can just write it off. I mean, come on, man. I mean, if they realize that you're only talking about 21% of it, 14% of it, appreciation of all your shit, that's insurmountable. Oh, we can write it off on. That's so stupid. Go ahead, Jeannie, and then we'll go to you.
Yeah, I want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yep, got you.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting listening to Promethean action, and their take on the imperialism to our economy, which is really what we've been under for the last 75 years. And they use the term free market. Capitalism to me is not the same situation. And so they will describe it as the American economy. And the American economy is going to shock the living poop out of people. And it's basically rolling up your sleeves, seeing what work needs to be done, and helping your neighbor. It's very much a team effort. And you ultimately end up realizing that there's just a subset of exceptional people. I think I posted it at some point in time. There's a small sliver of people that are just exceptional, and they will do what they need to do because it's the right thing to do. And then you have everybody else that watches. And I'm always trying to encourage people to understand their strengths so that they feel comfortable in participating. But the reality is most people won't participate. So when you find others that are willing to assist and support and work as hard as you are, that's golden. I think that our government has given us enough clear signals to say, we need you Americans to do your part in whatever area it is. And I think the most of it is just educating people on a day-to-day basis of what's really going on. Corporate America is not the answer because that's actually part of the problem and part of the imperialistic economy. Workers have been taken advantage of and screwed over and over and over and over again. And our system is set to screw us to the end. So I have one more thing to say. I was asked to join. Ultimately, the person that hired me was pushed out. Then I was pushed out. And the nurse job to Milan in Pakistan, to those nurses that are overseas. And until people understand that by purchasing something cheaper or over here, you have to know what you're really buying. And so the ton of education that we need to do there, just like meat, right? You're getting educated by people that literally are in Pakistan and went to school for maybe 6 months and calling themselves a nurse. So it's across the board. I'm just you're out. So anyway, I've applied to unemployment in my state, and the company is contesting it. So it's very will breaking, endurance breaking. And I can understand why people just give up. Because what it's really hard to keep going.
Are you in a blue
And
state, by the way?
no, not yet. Based on the politicians that are getting into spots, though, I don't think it's going to be too long. It's a nightmare because I can see it coming.
Well, you know what, Jeannie? Hopefully, maybe there'll be a change, right? Maybe people will demand better health care and not just be filed along like have, right? Because that's kind of the way it is, right? They need the numbers. And, you know, we see what they're doing in definitely the corporate as far as the pharmaceuticals, all the brokers and everybody, you know, kind of. I think being watched now. I think people are going to demand more out of their health insurance and you know, but you know, it's more the fact of hey, working on some of the projects that are outside of that scope, right? You know, those are the things that are going to make the difference. So, you know, I wouldn't get too down in the dumps about it. It's just now, you know, hey, you got to put your foot to the metal, and you got to create. You know, that's basically what they tried to beat out of it, right? The entrepreneurial spirit. You know, live free, tax to death. You know. So hey, look, hey, everybody has that moment where they need it. So, Julie, you want?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit that. I was just looking at something else. I'll be there in a second.
Remember, you know, and I think back to the post that I made this morning, right? Great moments are defined and depicted by great opportunities. And opportunities are from hard work. That's the only reason they had the opportunities because they stuck in there. You don't think these guys hire me for these Marlin tournaments just because I came on the scene yesterday, do you? You know, you gotta have some standing behind you. Go ahead, Finn, and then we're gonna.
So I'm going to push back on you, Myron, a little bit, and this might sting a little, and I don't mean to, but it's going to. If jobs are so plentiful, why is Trump trying to get manufacture back to our country? If jobs are so plentiful, why do I call a vendor to get tech support on a device and I'm having troubleshoot, and the guy don't speak English? If jobs are so plentiful, why does a house that costs $75,000 that I paid for now is value over $200,000? If jobs are so plentiful, why is a house out in the rural area almost $500,000 when they originally were going for 150,000. There's a reason the youth has stopped listening to us. There's a reason the youth has been brainwashed by the other side and convinced communism is the next way to go. You know, this is where
Choice.
this is
They're
this is
giving
where
them your choice, dude.
this is where I get pissed at Gen X. No offense, but the whole idea of drinking out of the water hose, and guess what? I drink out of the water hose too. But the thing is, our country's been invaded by a group of people who want to kill us. They made it pretty known. They tried many times, actually. But I'm tired of the older generation acting like there's not a problem, like it's every day, day as usual, when there is a problem. I'm stuck in the middle. I see the younger generation struggling. I see what they're going through. But I look at the older generation, they're saying, well, just pull your bootstraps up, it'll be all right. We told them to go to college. We told them to look at those higher education degrees. We were the ones that gave them the trophies. And now we're telling them tough shit, you're on your own. That's what I hear from the older generation. And I ain't trying to be mean. But that's what I hear. I don't blame the younger generation for not listening. Because I'm there with them.
But then, wait. Are you misconstruing what I said? As far as, hey, are all these jobs out there? I didn't say jobs. I said opportunity.
The thing is, there's not that many opportunities you guys think that there is out there. If we want this country to change for the better, to bring back what America was America, doing drop shipments from the Chinese isn't being American. We need the opportunities to come back here. We need the house prices to drop so people can actually buy a house for a change. That's what I'm trying to get at. And if I misconstrued it or misunderstood, I apologize. I deeply apologize. I really do. But I think it's time for Gen X to kind of stop bragging for a minute and listen to what the younger generation's got to say, because you guys are missing out on a lot. And I'll end there.
Well, Ken, I got to throw in here, dude. I'm 55 years old. I just, 2 years ago, started my own company again to do and create more jobs and whatnot. Uh, that's all it takes is somebody to come up with an idea and just do it. And I don't have a lot. I'm at the mercy of what the VA, pays me, which ain't a lot. But I'm motivated. I have ideas. I write them down, and I just slowly but surely work my way towards it, knowing that the payoff will be worth it later. And that's where I think we're missing. If you were raised to go to college, that's what you were told to do. And then what's college training them for? To basically want to become Marxists and socialists and accept that way of life and the gimme, and let me find a corporate job and all that kind of crap. I'm speaking in generalities here. But what these young folks aren't taught is entrepreneurship, about how to make something out of nothing and how to have the motivation to stay with it. And when you're poor and you're eating top ramen, which I did for many years, I should be a big noodle by now. You know what I mean? You just kind of fake it till you make it. So, those old sayings. This is where, yes, there is a generation gap to where they don't have that in them. Like, hey, dude, if you don't make it, that old frog holding the stork's neck, like never give up, right? So I think we can find a happy medium here, but it's really the mentality of thinking that you have to work for someone else in order to work your way up the ladder, and those jobs, they just don't exist. They're not there. Well, I'm sure, because if everybody's doing that and the corporations are full of people, then yeah, you're not going to find a job. It's that, again, getting back to the American dream, getting back to the World War II veterans when they came home. What they did, they started a lot of huge companies because they had the drive, they had the wherewithal. They're just like, hey, let's just do it. We've got this opportunity. The country's amazing. I can do whatever I want to do. But I don't think that mentally they're there yet. They don't believe that they can actually do something on their own. I hope I'm making sense, Tim.
Well, and look, let me put it out there where, hey, these innovative ideas are coming along. Like there wasn't an opportunity for a kid to set up a solar panel cleaning business 10 years ago, but there is opportunity now. And I think again, Finn, I think you misconformed it just a little bit. What I'm trying to do is to make them aware, right? There is no reason that a 30-year-old that has been stuck in some kind of computer programming can't come out and learn a trade. Let me tell you, electricians, they're even calling it right now that the electricians are going to be so sought after in the future, especially with all the data centers. So if I was a parent, I'd be putting my kid through an electrical course and see if the kid can handle it and want to do it. Then it's more of, hey, changing this crowd that they have over top of it. Now, am I going to say starting a business now compared to starting a business 25 years ago? It's a lot harder now, dude. There's many, many more restrictions on me to actually run a company in this state. Insurance policies and guaranteeing, workman's comp and liability insurance, carrying all insurance on my vehicles. I mean, I carry more insurance now than I ever have. So am I saying that it's easier now, Ken? No, they have pounded the entrepreneurial spirit. Just because you're a data guy or a computer programmer, that doesn't mean that you can't come up with another trade to be able to make money.
And Marlon, I want to apologize. I think I made it construed it because when you explained that made a lot more sense. So my apologies on that. I just what I want to say too, truth, it kind of nails something that I do want to kind of put out there, being part of the younger generation, or in my case now, middle of the generations. We weren't taught entrepreneurship in schools. I can tell you that right now. I've been told all the time I should start my own little computer repair shop because I'm so good at fixing computers. But I'll be straight up honest with you. I don't know anywhere to start. I'm almost scared to because I'm afraid of failing. But at the same time, I always get this feeling that if I were to do it, it'd be successful. Because I am good at it and I do know that. But maybe the younger generation doesn't know how to ask because I don't know. I can't answer that.
Hey, let me give you one quick example, and I'll tell you, my wife can attest to this, right? I worked on the side when I was doing drywall. I was working for a full-time company. I worked on the side. It had to be 10 years. I mean, it took me so many failures to be able to even come up with clientele to start. Right? Again, it's more of, hey, just understanding where you can start, gathering the tools. It takes a long time. If we can instill anything, is that success is never an overnight success. Perseverance. Okay? Yeah, perseverance, intestinal fortitude, hard work ethic. That's the only thing that was able for me to produce. Dude, how many times I wanted to quit, throw my hands up, holy shit, this is too hard. I can't do this anymore. This is, I'm getting all these phone calls, complaints, and this, and after a while, a kind of like a warm blanket came over top of me. And I was great. I didn't feel successful, but I was able to pay my own bills. And in 1 month of leaving that other company, I had everything that they gave me: a phone, a truck, a house. I had everything there. But it only took from the hard work of working a decade on the side to be able to come up with the people to support what I was doing. So that's where you can.
Marlon, to add on to this, every very successful person that I know has failed more times than they've been successful. It's how you pick up your roots, whatever, all that kind of, all those sayings. you're going to fail. There's just no doubt you're going to fail. I mean, you know, you have perfect examples throughout history. You know, Edison with the light bulb, thousands and thousands of times until he got it right. The Kentucky Fried Chicken, the Colonel's recipe. He was trying. He went to over 800 and something, 815 or something like that. Different investment groups and investors, and finally one person. Most people would give up after 1, 2, 3, but 800 times. I mean, come on, man. You know, so it's just a matter of, you know, if you believe, if you have that motivation in you, you know that it's going to work. You just keep on pressing on and find out what doesn't work so you don't do that one again. You know what I mean?
You don't think right out of the gate here, ARA is not going to make mistakes. You know what I mean? Like,
Already have.
foolish. Exactly. And listen, those mistakes is where you build the foundation to start from. And it's all good, dude. I'm so glad that we got this through now. Now it's more of putting the work ethic into that generation, right? I don't want to hear failure because guess what? I had to overcome failure. You know what? I didn't want to be on the job at 7, 8 o'clock at night, man. Guess what? The pain was coming in the next morning, and that guy's not going to hire me again if I don't get it done. So a lot of times I had to go back to that. Julie, did you want to go? And then maybe we can go to Jeannie, Mad Dog, Scrappy, True.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, Tin, I hear what you're saying, and kids are not taught this, especially your generation up. They are not taught about, working hard and making that living and doing it for yourself. And there's pride behind that. I learned it from my parents, especially my dad. You know, my dad was an engineer. He was a land surveyor. And what I could tell you, especially in the 80s, when jobs got done, my father was done surveying that land, and he did a lot of the Garden State Parkway and Giants Stadium and everything. And when the jobs were done, he got laid off. But he didn't just stop working. He had 4 kids to feed. He had mouths to feed. He had a mortgage to pay. So he did what he had to do, whether it was working for the funeral home, picking up bodies, or whether it was at a gas station, just pumping gas, whatever he could do to bring that dollar in. So a lot of it comes also from what you have been taught and what you're learning, because you might not have learned that in school. And even I didn't so much learn that in school, and I'm a lot, I'm ahead of you big time. But what I learned from my parents, especially my dad, was a big deal. And I just wanted to say to Jeannie real quick, oh, she dropped down, but I did put in the purple bubble. I didn't know if anybody saw this over the weekend. There was a massive H-1B visa fraud ring that has been discovered in India. And if you look at today's residency, like the hospital residents, that's what the residents do. And I think it costs them like $1,400 to get fake degrees. So yeah, a little bit scary. And this H-1B visa, a lot of this was during Biden's time in office. 83% got junior or entry level positions. That's another big problem. And it kind of makes you want to wonder why this was brought out with Trump in his administration. And people are saying, oh, why is he favoring these H-1B visas? I think maybe it was to pull out so people can start looking into what these H-1B visas are. And there was a big ring that's been busted, and then that was India. That is a lot of these people are coming out of India, and they're coming here to take our jobs. So just wanted to put that. And I put that article down. I mean, that post down in the bubble.
Well, you got Mad Dog and then Scorpion.
Yeah, go ahead, Mad Dog. How you doing? Good.
Good to see you, Truth, Julie, Tinfoil. Good conversation, good topic. I just had a little analogy come through my head, and if you're out fishing and you're reeling that fish in, you got it almost up to the boat, and you've been fighting that thing for an hour or whatever, and it breaks free. You don't quit. You load up you bait your line, and you throw it out again until you're successful. Okay, so that's one. The other thing is these participation trophy, that mentality in school that they've been teaching everybody. That if you're on the team, you get a trophy. Well, I used to wrestle, and it was me against that guy. Yeah, I was on a team, but I only I only won because I practiced hard, and um, but it was me against that other guy. And if I got second, that was my fault. I didn't get first place. I didn't win. If I got first, and I started winning because I just had that mentality. But I've lost so much over the years. I've lost I lost my business during COVID, and I just didn't have the heart to start it back up. I was so close to retirement. Now I'm already collecting my carpenter's pension, and I'm just working my last year. But I'm not rich, but I am rich in that I'm doing what I want to do now. And I realize I've done everything that I can up to this point, and I'm in a battle right now. I'm in a battle to try to get our country and my state back, keep my county red. Um, that's what I'm fighting. But you don't give up. You never give up. Part of being a journeyman carpenter for me, when I realized I was a journeyman, was when I lost the fear of fucking up. Oh, excuse me, messing up. Sorry, I know that's a rule in here. Uh, when I lost my fear of messing up, because I knew how to fix anything that I messed up, and it just takes time. It takes experience. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Well, thanks, man. Hey,
Oh, go ahead, Scrappy.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
great, Scrappy. Good to see you, man.
Likewise, man. Marlon, you put on a great space here. You got great topics today. Truth, when you sit in, and Julie, appreciate you all the time. I wish I could get in here more often, but I know you just I just something Tin said earlier, it just Tin, get yourself a network on the side or something. Don't step on the company you work for or anything, but start small, maybe with family or friends, or on the weekends or something, or nights here and there. Start something small and get yourself into doing it on your own. Just grow it a little bit a little bit at a time. Maybe it can get you out that door. But I get it, man. I drive a big rig, and all I want to do is get in, do my own thing. And it's tough and it's frustrating, especially this day and age. I'm gonna have to put out tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and just on something that's old and used. My worry is, heck, it's going to break down on my first run, and yeah, it's a gamble and it's a roll of the dice. But try starting small and see if you can't work it up from there, Ted.
Happy, thanks for coming in, man. And you got the struggle right there. I mean, look at all the hurdles that goes in front of you. Like you said, you could invest tens and tens of thousands of dollars, but if you blow a turbo in that truck, what are you going to do? Have the money to replace that turbo? There's a lot of risk, man.
Absolutely.
A lot.
Absolutely, Paul. And something else, real quick, something that Mad Dog just said. You don't ever give up. And I know I hear this from Truth when I listen to him when I can, but you don't ever give up, because I hear more and more on these spaces. The past 10 or 12 years, I'm 55 years old. I have never in my life ever seen more evidence of good versus evil, that battle going on. And it's something that Mad Dog just said, you don't ever give up. Satan never gives up. Satan never stops. Evil never stops. And we can't ever stop, because we need to overcome. And we need to get our American dream up there again. And I'll land there.
That's
It's hard. Yeah,
no, I'm saying that's a fact, man. It's again, it's that spirit of just not giving up, don't surrender. I mean, Tim, with all the dang, what?
I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
Oh, no, I'm saying with Tinfoil, with all the Star Trek things that he's into and he likes to watch, man, come on, never give up, never surrender. You you can do it, buddy.
Well, Scrappy, to something you said to bounce off of Mad Dog. But don't stand there and wait for somebody to pat you on the ass and say, "Hey, you did a good job." Ain't nobody gonna when you for yourself. Guess what? Don't expect that Christmas bonus, right? But if you can work through the things that those companies put in front of you to entice you, hey, I don't have to call somebody. You know what, Tim? It's this morning. I don't feel good, and I don't have this job. You know what? I can roll over and say, you know what? So it is. You know, that's what I have worked. I don't need somebody over top of me to motivate me, and I think that's more of, hey, what? You don't have to be just a programmer. You can be a freaking drywall guy. You can be a marlin fisherman. I work at it. You got to learn how to do it. Just like we're going to learn how the ARA operates here. We're not logistics specialists. We're going to learn. We are going to make mistakes. Hey, mistakes, like you said, Drew. I learned more from mistakes than I ever did any kind of accomplishment.
Oh yeah, kind of like get down on yourself for a while. It's just human nature, you know. But then you again you pick up your bootstraps, whatever. You just like, all right, how can I learn? What did I do wrong? Now let me try it again. Let me do it right this time. And if I fail again, all right, I'm going to learn again. It's just having that mentality. But like I think it was Mad Dog brought it up. Maybe it was Scrappy. I can't remember who said it, but regarding that whole participation trophy crap, that really hurt that generation of children. It really did, because they don't understand failure. It's like, well, don't I get to? Aren't I? Don't I get a trophy? Like I was here. So no. You either win or you lose, and if you lose, you learn how to win again. And that that's a hard thing for people to overcome. But anyway.
100% truth, and that's the problem. People are the newer generation that's out there. They were taught, oh, you deserve this promotion, or you deserve this and that. You don't deserve it. You have to work hard at it. You don't just get to where you're going to get just because you want to make the more money. And I see it now. I see it even in my job. Like, there's people that are in our supervision. They started out same as everybody else. They started out as just a regular respiratory therapist, and then they moved their way up. There's newer generations coming in, and Jeannie also can testify to this one. They're going to school, they're coming out as nurses, and they're going right away for their nurse practitioner. They're not getting that experience. They're not growing as in their careers. They just want that instant gratification. They want that money because everything is so much more expensive nowadays. So you know what? It's not about the actual career or saying that you're doing a good job. It comes down to, well, they make better money doing that. Why am I going to kill myself? Oh, that they don't have to work weekends and holidays. I want that off, and I see it all the time, and it's it's an unfortunate thing, but that's what all these kids have been taught. They've been taught that they don't have to do these things. If somebody's there to help them out, or if they could just go on and they could become something else that makes money. It's I don't even know how to put it, but yeah, I see that all the time, and it's
Clinically dangerous, right? They're clinically dangerous.
Yes.
Well, my grandfather always told me, man, just have integrity, son. Have integrity in everything that you do, and have a very strong work ethic. Be the best at your position, whatever that position may be, And I kept that, and I was a dang dishwasher in a freaking restaurant, but I was the best damn dishwasher in there. Everything was clean. It was done quickly and efficiently. You know what I mean? It was ingrained in me. Like, be the best, So anyway, I don't know. I think
Truth. That's the problem also today. There is no more work ethic. There's nothing to strive for. There's no more pensions. So really they come into a field of work, and they're looking and they're like, well, what's the possibility of me growing and becoming more than I want to be? And it's not there anymore. So that's also another deterrent. And that's a shame. I'm sorry, who was next?
Yeah, it was True, Jeannie, Russell. But yeah, there's so many. We all kinds of wisdom and advice and all that kind of stuff, but it just takes you to do it, you to believe. Anyway, Ed there, True, and then we'll go to Jeannie and.
Okay. And you guys are killing it. I could talk forever on this, but with tin, I would start like a mobile maybe, and something catchy like Mr. Fix It. Magnetic signs are really cheap. You just slap them on your car, and people love mobile service now because it saves them gas money. Put an ad in one of the local free, like not a Craigslist, but like we got like a Yelp or something that's not too expensive, and just start taking customers. You don't have any overhead when you're mobile, which is great. And you'll love it. I mean, as soon as you get back from your first customer, you're going to be doing like backflips in your house, man. I got my first customers. It's freaking awesome. And you'll just build and build. And like I said, get some more people to help you eventually and think about them. And goal setting is the main thing. So you want to set a goal. People don't talk about sleep teaching anymore. You could brainwash yourself by just sleep teaching, and you can get tapes and just, or not tapes, but like a repeat thing. And just, while you're asleep, put it on really low, and that'll get into your subconscious. Your subconscious mind is way more powerful than your conscious mind. We're so screwed up when we're thinking about everything in our conscious mind, but our subconscious mind, if it just goes over and over and repeats, I'm going to set this goal, I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to do this. Your brain, when you wake up, it'll just start working on it. It's like weird. So when you goal set, just write those goals everywhere on a little piece of paper, stick them where you're going to shave and do the dishes, read them every day. That'll also get into your subconscious mind, right? So you want to dream really big. So you think about the 4 H's. To make money, you got to have it in your head first, right? Head, heart, hands, and then the money will come on your hip. So the head, you'll feel it in your heart. The hands is people helping you, and then you get the money on the hip, stuff like that. I mean, just you've already gone through step one, dreaming big. You're dreaming about it, and that's important. I'll get right off. Yeah, like you said,
True. True. You said thing, dreaming. I don't want to just dream. I want to believe again. And that's what we need to do. That's what we need to instill in these kids.
Right, yeah, and then so you set a big goal. Let's say you say I'm going to make $10,000 next month, right? By the end of next month, I will have $10,000 in the bank. It seems like a big goal, right? And people say, well, you shouldn't set a big goal. You don't hit, you get depressed. No, that's not the point. You look back after that month, even if you only made 1,000, at least you made something and all the things you learned from that, and then set that goal again. Don't be afraid to set big goals and just go for it. And failure is part of it. Like you say, nobody's ever done anything without failing. I'll stop talking, but you guys are awesome.
Dude, this is where they need the discipline, right? It's not so much, hey, actually doing it. It's following through when everything tells you not, right? You experience this problem and that problem. Oh, it's too hard. Things that can become too hard. That's when most people quit, right?
Exactly. Yeah, but that's stepping stones, right?
Well, what's the old saying? The old saying is, you get what you pay for, right? Well, it's the same kind of thing in life. You get out of life what you put into it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, mistakes, they're all part of life. Smart, man. Who's next?
Yeah, Jeannie and Susie and Russ.
Yeah, I just wanted to give Tinfoil some encouragement. So I'm going to be 64 this summer. And my dad taught me to be an entrepreneur. I just got fired from a job for doing nothing wrong other than I'm too good of a nurse. I've actually been fired from the last 3 jobs because I'm a nurse first, but whatever. And today I am going to the Small Business Administration and I'm applying for, I don't know what. I have it in my head what I want to build for a business. And it's really just a component of making our healthcare system safe for people again. And so I'm going to go through this process. I have no clue what I'm doing. I literally have no idea what I'm doing. In fact, I just had to ask Rob, what kind of organization is my LLC? I don't know. So it's a for-profit. Yeah, it's
They talked about, he got all the, remember, we put on by ourselves. Hey, I don't meet up with the criteria for the application. Have my stuff. How?
and I think, you know, uh, I also believe that the nuts don't fall too far away from others. Um, that was the hardest working man I've hired that worked as hard as he did. He came from the you have episodes in his he got to take people brought them to him. But he kept working. He kept going. And I think that that is um a family that surrounded him that loved him. I don't know that we gave him a lot of encouragement, but we were his reason for working so hard. So I think that the younger generation, we understand their dilemma. And I think that's the reason why we're here today, right? We're trying to make it so that it's, you're capable of doing it. Right now, the way that the system works, there's not the ability to do it, but we're trying to correct that. And so as you're out there talking to your friends, tell them there's a boatload of people trying to correct it so that it's doable. And they are great people to learn from. Why don't you go listen to what they have to say? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
When I was growing up, when I had my first job, and I knew when I was a kid that I wanted to build my own house. And my old man told me I was free. You don't know what you're doing, and all that. And you know what? He was half-assed right. I didn't know shit when I started. I knew a whole lot when I got finished up, right? But those were the experiences that I wanted. That experience. I wanted to build that house in the worst way. Even my father was telling me I was great. So don't let anybody tell you can't do it. And believe me, in years of business, just go my old man a thing or two, about a thing or two. Yeah. So cool. We get.
Yeah, no, I've never let anybody tell me I can't do something, and I'm gonna try even harder if they do try and tell me that I can't do something, and that's the way people should really be. But what I really was raising my hand for, Marlon and Truth, I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to drop down because I am going into work to help out to actually do some teaching to some of the residents about some of our modalities that we use. They are interested in learning, which is a good thing. They're asking for help. Jeannie, I don't know if you heard, but did you see that thing about the H-1B visas? That post I put in the purple bubble. So I just wanted you to see that. Thanks, guys, for having me up here today. And I love you all. And I will just drop to listener, though.
Well, thanks, Julie. Thanks for coming up and co-hosting. Have a good time at work. I hate that guy, Bill.
It's not really. It's more because they asked about teaching, and then I was asked by my supervisors if I would do it because they know I'm not afraid to confront these residents and tell them what we do as respiratory therapists. So that's I'm actually a little honored that they asked me to come in and help teach the differences with the BiPAPs and high flows and different forms of ventilation. So it's a good thing. Anyway, I love you all.
Sounds like you need a yard, like with the old nuns.
I do. Trust me, I do. They fear me when they see me. They're like, "Oh God, she's on."
Not her again. Thanks, Julie. Good to see you. Have fun at work. Susan and then Russ, right?
Yep, and then you got Nika and Terry in here to see if they can fill in for Julie.
So I think one of the things we need to be careful about is blaming one group of people or two groups of people for the current situation. It's not really that generation or that group of people. You know, I'm a boomer, some of you are Gen Xers. It is a small group of people decided in the education, and these people are powerful people in the universities and whatnot coming out of Columbia. And they've literally been teaching radical agendas, radical ideas and ideologies that have spread everywhere. And this has been going on for decades and decades. You know, my parents started with nothing coming out of the war as children in, in Austria. And they worked their asses off to get where they are with nothing, starting with nothing. And so blaming generations like that, you know, I hear a lot of Gen Xers complain about how they were raised. How about how your parents were raised? How about the depression they went through? How about the challenges they went through? And yeah, the Gen Xers and some of the younger boomers like myself, we raised ourselves. Why? Because our parents were working and doing a job and and unfortunately left us on our own. And we grew up strong. We grew up bullied. We grew up on playgrounds that were dangerous. Even the candy was dangerous. We fought our way through with very little supervision. Now there's this sense of entitlement from younger people, like we owe them something. We owe them this or that. We don't owe them shit because other generations went through a lot as well. And there's a small minority group of people that have literally brainwashed an entire group of people. That is very scary and very unfortunate. But let's not just blame entire generations because we're not necessarily the ones responsible for it. We worked our way to everything we got. And you just got to do the same. There's no reason why you can't research what someone tells you. If someone tells you the way to do this, that, you have so many tools at your to be able to say, hey, is this degree in philosophy going to get me a good paying job? Yeah, no, actually, you're going to end up a Starbucks, what do you call it? Barista. I mean, critical thinking, everybody has that ability to critically think. You know, when you came out of a time of history during wars and depressions and tough times, you have to critically think for yourself. How am I going to get ahead? What can I do? And not listen to the people around you and be suspicious of everything they tell you. Because this is a small minority of people. It is not entire generations. But you need to start looking at how you do the what's right for you. It's kind of like a video game. What do I need to do to win this game? I've got all these obstacles. How do I get around it? That's how you got to start looking at things. To blame others in entire generations. Yeah, there are people to blame. There are elites to be blamed. There are all kinds of people who are power hungry and after money, and they're pushing agendas that make it really difficult to get ahead. And I get it. I've got 3 kids who are stuck in it. You know, one of my kids went to school to code. It took him a year and a half to find a job, applying for hundreds and hundreds of jobs everywhere, working in a pizza place, and he finally got a great job. So it can be done. You just got to keep persevering and looking at what are your skills? How can I use those skills to get ahead?
You know what, Susan? Say if they have a particular trade, a direction that they want to go, there is nothing wrong with going to flip pizzas from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. right? That's a damn good trade. You can go anywhere in the country and make pizzas. You know, I look at like maybe okay, hey, 8 to 4, and oh man, I need my lunch right now, and hey, I don't want to do anything extra. Guess what? You're not going to go anywhere if you're not going to learn anything, even in the job, or even in the dead end job that you're in. You'll take that same experience, and that's how it is. You're going to take that same experience. You're going to go to the next job with it, and you're going to learn. I mean, it's pretty brutal when this third place trophy or feel good trophy, and this is exactly where it attacks us good to make them win. They're expecting their mother or father to pat them on the ass. Well, damn, make them uncomfortable. Make them do something that they don't want to do, but as soon as they do it, it's going to be a whole new world. I had that happen to me many times, many times. Russell, how you doing, man? Good to
I'm good, Marlon. I just listen to you guys talking, and they, I hire kids in the body shop, and they really, they see all this stuff and they really want to do it, but they don't have the stick to itiveness to do it. And then the first question out of their mouth is, "How much can I make here?" Well, I made next to nothing when I was a kid doing it, and 60 hours a week, and we got paid on commission. After you were good enough to get on commission, and you were the spot you were taking inside your shop was making money, then you could talk to some, And the reason I got in as early as I did is the guys that were in front of me that knew what they were doing as far as the repair and the painting and everything. I watched them, and then when they screwed up, and there was cars ready to paint, and the boss was pulling his hair out because he needed to deliver cars on Friday. Hey, Rusty, go in there and paint them cars. And that's how I started doing it. And the bad part about it nowadays is the cost of the material is so high that a guy can't afford to let a guy learn how to do it, because one time $1,700 sometimes for some of these repairs, just in the paint and the clear. And so I've but the good thing about when I went on commission is when I needed some more money, I would just stay and work longer. Just work harder. In an 80-hour pay period, I was averaging getting paid 250 hours. It was the only thing I made any real money, because the flag hours that I was getting were like $11 an hour. Okay, well, they're not. It's a job. That's not a skill. Once you can create a skill, you're worth you're worth the room taken up inside of their shop. Then you got something. Anyway, that's kind of how I I needed something else. I wanted something, so I just work hard. Period. And wait for the guy, watch what he's doing, learn everything you can, and wait for him to screw up, and you step over him and go on.
Well, what, Russell? If people are expected to fail coming out of the gate, you're not going to go very far. It can't be taught. You got to have it, right? You got to want to do it. That's the difference. If you want to give up some of the comfortness that you have having that dead end job, I get it. I understand. It's scary. When I lost my job, when I got fired, I only got fired from one job, and when I left this place, how they say don't burn the bridge. Well, I knew. I didn't burn it. I nuked it. I was never going back. I used that as realistically to know that, hey, I'm going to do this for me. I don't need somebody over top of me and working for somebody else. I'm making him millions of dollars. What am I doing? Now, if I went out and made millions of dollars, I have over my time. Some years are better than others. It's just the way it goes. And it's, all what you want to put into your day. That's how much money you can make. So the opportunities are there. It's just, hey, man, you know what? You need the extra money, go 10 bar. No, there's a skill. That people laugh at it. Damn, there's a good skill there. You could make damn good money bartending at night. Anyway, Chin, did you want to respond real quick, and I'm going to go to Truth Susan?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you everyone for all the suggestions, and I really do appreciate it. And I think my point, when I was trying to make too, and we kind of see it, is that I think both sides have to come together and talk to each other. Just like how you guys gave me suggestions and everything, and I hope the youth that is listening to this stop being angry at the older generation. This wasn't the older generation's fault. It was a small group of people, like Susan said, that did this to us. And your folks, your grandparents, your parents, your family, they have suggestions on how to make it in this tough world that it is right now. I get where you guys are coming from. I'm there too. And I also get how the older generation feels. It sucks getting blamed for everything when you guys had nothing to do with what's going on. And that's what I'm hoping and I'm begging and I'm praying that the younger generation will see this and start coming together and start asking questions on how can we do this. Because as for the question, like how much money can you make? I remember when I was younger, when I was in high school, the things when they were pushing college, that was the first thing they did. It was like, oh yeah, if you graduate college, you can make this amount of money at this particular job. And that's why they push and push and push. So what might seem like entitlement is maybe not really entitlement, is maybe that's what they've been pushed to get to that point. So that's maybe they asked that question right off the bat. But like I said, at the same time, the old generation, you guys have a lot of wisdom and you guys see a lot that we haven't seen that we're now experiencing. So I'm like I said, I told my mom the other day, I miss the older generation. I miss talking to you guys and getting advice and seeing what you guys went through when you were our age and so forth. It's like I love hearing the stories because I can relate to it. It's like for the longest time growing up, I never understood why mom made food almost literally for an army when it was just me, my brother, and my dad. But when I talked to my mom and found out that she nearly starved, her and 5 kids and a single mom almost their entire life, then I understood. Then I understood why she makes the amount of food that she does. And she used to thought we hated her cooking. I miss it. I mean, she's still around and she still cooks a little bit, but I miss her cooking because it was actually good. She was actually a good cook. But I hope you guys get something from that, and that's why I did what I did and said what I said, and I appreciate it. I really do.
$30,000 a year. No. Listen, 10. Hey, if we could do anything, is just to say, hey, if we can motivate the younger base, give them options. Maybe I can tell you right now, when I was growing up, my old man had the same idea you got that generation had. Oh, you should get a corporate job. Oh, you should go get a job with the government. And I was defiant. I didn't want to do it, and I was just as happy doing construction. Now that I look back, I'm like, damn, maybe I should have taken it. I'd be on easy street now. But it's all the quality of life that I've had. I gave my wife the ability to be able to stay home and raise our 2 kids without sending them to child care. It was a lot of, hey, a sacrifice. But you know what? I never screwed anybody. I never got to look over my shoulder. These are some of the lessons that maybe they should be learning. Like, you're not out just to gouge people and hit the next home run. You want these people to call you back 25, 30 years later, because that's what I get, right? I get people that call me, oh, you're doing drywall? Yeah, I'm an old guy, but I'm still here. Yes, I'm still doing drywall. It's almost a sentence a little bit, Tim. So, but unfortunately, that's what I picked. So, but that doesn't mean that I can't do other things outside of drywall. And I think that's where you got to impress on people, that you don't have to just be one trade. You could be many trades. So, hey, real quick before we go much further, what's up, Ringo? Just wanted to throw you a little love, man. I like this CSN. I appreciate you coming up and giving us a hand.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for supporting the Service Sports Network. Marlin Space, Truther, all you guys are all part of it. It's great. We get a lot of reach. Wanted to say today, one thing that I want to say, Marlin, is the DSA candidate here in Los Angeles didn't even win her own district, yet somehow managed to find her way 24,000 votes and then a couple other thousand votes in front to put herself in front of Pratt. We need something to happen federally. The Supreme Court needs to come down with some type of decision, nullify votes. Something needs to happen here because it's clear you can't even win your own district, but somehow you end up in second place. Come on, man. You can't pull the wool over our eyes like that. It just doesn't work, man. I'm sorry. If it was legit, something different, but you can't even win her. I mean, the numbers are out there. She lost her district. And yet somehow she gained all those other votes. It makes no sense to me. Just my 2 cents today. Hi, guys. Happy Monday.
No, I'm with you. I saw it there where the last batch of votes was like 98%. Or man, I forget what her last name. Yeah, squeaked in front of Pratt. I mean, man, back in February when the primary system was just getting started. What's the deal with the 2020 election? I mean, is the verdict going to come out? I mean, let's fix the shit. And look, hey, Jersey primary was last week, right? So we're in the same mix. It's are they gaining evidence, or are they going to whop it on us like, oh yeah, hey, there was everything from 20s and Melvin Boyd. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't see it changing. So there you go. I'm just as frustrated as you. But hey, thanks for coming up and throwing in there. To Susan and True, let me go to Rick real quick. I haven't heard from him. Rick, how you doing, man? Good to
Hey, what's going on, Marlon? Thanks for bringing me up. I hope everybody's Monday morning's going well. I just want to say that don't get blackpilled anybody. Please don't get blackpilled. This race out there in Los Angeles, or with the war in Iran, or with these data centers, or like whatever anybody's talking about. These are short-term problems. We're going to be able to come together as a country and fix this. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be, it's going to be a bitch, but we're going to be able to do that. Me personally, in February, I just found out that I'm cancer-free. I was fighting, a voice box cancer for the last 5 years. It was service-connected. I'm cancer-free now, February, and it's game on for me. I'm choosing not to just kind of fade away in the background. I'm choosing to get myself back into the fight, back into the ring, and see if I could be a leader as a veteran, to be able to unify people together to begin to fight back, and to be able to set stuff. It's our 250-year anniversary, guys. A lot of empires die and fade away at 250 years. I'm telling you, this is not going to be America. I did not just survive cancer in the prime of my life to be able to watch my country fall. It's not going to happen. And I'll leave it there. I do have something coming up, Marlon. I'm going to give you the option to allow me to do that, but I'm going to ask first if you mind if I, pitch what I'm going on. But listen, guys, happy Monday.
absolutely. I think I saw your post on June 14th. You're going to have a space there. And yeah, man, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thank you. I'm launching a business called My Veteran Buddy. That's going to be the opening launching space. It's going to be there to get all of America, the citizens, united, all of the veteran nonprofits together, once and for all. Get us 17 million living veterans, a cobwebs dusted off of us, so we can begin to get our lives stable again, so we can inject ourselves into our local communities to directly be leaders in our communities. This is going to a military level operation for we the people to come together and combat these people, to be able to set our constitution again and to kind of reset stuff. So it needs to be veteran led. So that's what I got going on. That's what I'm building. It's ready to launch June 14th at 0800 Central Time. That's going to be pinned to my profile. Everybody can take a look at it. This is all hands evolution. I'm pissed. I want my vengeance for the Navy giving me cancer. I'm pissed off at what they did to this country with COVID and with January 6th and the BLM riots and everything that they on this election that they're rigging, all of it. It's done. I want my country back, and I'm inviting everybody to fight alongside me to be able to make that happen. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling up, Rick. Veteran outreach, I believe at a local, and we can do this. I've been reaching out to, hey, my local VFWs. We got to develop voting forms in our own towns. I mean, this is more the narrative. Zach, you want to jump and say hello, and then we'll go to Susan?
It looks like you want to guess, say how you doing today, and technology needs the WWDC have changed everybody's iPhone today, no, September, and maybe guess.
Thanks for coming in, Zach.
You're welcome anytime.
Go ahead, Susan. Why don't you jump in there? We'll go to True, and then we got some other subjects there. I know. I really want to go back over the Google releasing of the mosquitoes, the boxes of tips that are found on people's property here. I mean, these are prime time issues. Yes, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? I'll bet they'll have a vaccine for that soon. To combat this thing that's happening with red meat allergies. Weird. Rick, congratulations. Congratulations on getting through that. It's tough. So one of the things I was going to talk about, you talked about it a little bit, is what are you willing to sacrifice to get ahead? Are you willing to sacrifice your Starbucks and your DoorDash? There are times when things were a little rough. Usually by my own making because I spent too much money and I needed to pay off some things. It was toilet paper, peanut butter and jelly, the cheapest white bread I could find, and Kraft macaroni and cheese. That's it. Survive on that for a week or two. When I was born, my dad was a welder and they'd been on strike. In total, they were on strike for 9 months. I had 2 diapers. When I was wearing it, when it was on the radiator. What are you willing to sacrifice to get through? Sometimes when my kids like to DoorDash and then complain about money. Excuse me? Peanut butter jelly sandwiches, Kraft macaroni and cheese, and toilet paper. That's continuing. Not great, but you'll survive. I think a lot of our younger people are way too used to the good life. Good times make weak people. Bad times make strong people. And that's what's been missing is some rough times. We're going through some rough times, but I'll tell you what, it ain't any rougher than what happens in our past. This is where learning history is really important. Learning about our history, learning about World War II. I sent my kids at great expense, 2 of them, to a Holocaust tour. 8th grade summer before they get into high school. It's expensive. It wasn't cheap. I had twins, so I sent them both. So they could learn history and understand what happened during the Second World War. And you know what? Now, when they look at people who are protesting, for Palestine, from the river to the sea, and all that garbage, yeah, they won't be out there protesting that because they got to see firsthand, as much as they could, what happened during that war. These are the things that our kids are missing. They're not taught civics. They're not even taught to write cursive. Writing in cursive is a personality thing. It's how you express yourself. It's a part of who you are. Is printing? Nonsense. So what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice not getting your nails done?
When you say peanut butter, when you say peanut butter and jelly, I think we were raised on that, right? I mean, you know what? We didn't know any better. Now the kids know better, right? They're not going to eat peanut butter and jelly when they can DoorDash, chicken.
Well, and actually in my family, it was potato goulash. Everything was potatoes. Until I was in my mid-20s, I didn't want to see a potato. Please don't give me potatoes. I don't want them mashed. I didn't want a French fry. You know, we didn't do peanut butter jelly. My parents were from Austria. We didn't do peanut butter and jelly. It was potato everything. It was gross. Now I like it, but I don't put potatoes in it. I put dumplings in the goulash and meat. We didn't do meat. What are you willing to sacrifice?
Well, you know, well, my father was born in 1935, and he used to tell the story and how poor he really was, right? And they were, they were dirt poor. He was one of five. They didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. He used to he used to make us laugh. He says, you know, in the wintertime when it was so bad, they didn't have firewood, so they would chop every other basement step and burn it, right? That's that was cool, man. You know, like it wasn't that bad. Well, that's you know what? I had difficulties in the background. I got to go.
I have to say that's really funny. Every other sketch. So my dad tells a story about, of course, they were 2 miles from, and to make skis, like cross country skis, so they could ski to school. They took old barrels, old wine barrels, and straightened out the boards to make.
Come on, and we believed them. Come on, uphill both ways, snow up to their eyebrows. Stop. Okay. Hey,
No, it was true. I went to their house, his house where he lived. It was absolutely 100% true. 100%. I still, I can find their house in Google and track how their town had 24 people. I counted them one day, 6 houses. Yeah, it was all true.
Well, they know. Hey, my grandparents. I still remember putting coal in the furnace. I remember they used to get deliveries of coal when we were kids, delivery of milk. You know, you talk about tough times. You weren't able to just roll down the Wawa and get a gallon of milk, right? I think that's the funniest thing about all of it, right? My mother, I gotta say this. My mother used a diaper service, right? And they would come every week and a half, whatever, and you would give them the dirty diapers, and then you would get the clean diapers, right? And anybody is Generation X, yep, that's how old we are, right? So my mother got a note in her packet. You know, they gave you the diapers back, and the guy wrote her a note that, hey, you have to discard of all the poo out of the diaper, right? You have all the presents. Wow, right? I bet that guy was pissed. Talk about poor. We just didn't know it. That's all there is to it. Ah, good times, good times. I can't tell you how many times I ate meat and potatoes. Come on, man. They would fry up the hamburger, put the beef stock in it, put the potatoes in it. That's what we ate. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'll drop down after this. But what she was saying about the corporations and the jobs, it's because these big corporations claim they need all these foreign workers to come in, and then I think even Trump was approving 30,000 or 60,000 Chinese students to come in, when everybody's looking for a job for a year and a half, like you said. So, but these corporations claim they need these foreign workers, but like, let's take farms. It's because they're big corporation farms, right? If it was all just small town farms, then they would hire local people and people would have jobs and kids would have jobs. But these corporations are just sucking up all the jobs with foreign workers, and that sucks. But great space. I got to go. I'll be listening. Thank you.
Thanks, Drew. And I think it's more or less, hey, it's we're the ones that actually did it, right? You know, they're not forcing our hand to make us go shop in Target or Walmart, or, you know, I think they have in some aspects of taking mom and pop out of it, but you have a choice, right? You have a choice where you can go, what you can spend your money on. And I don't think most Americans, hey, I know it's great, man. You're able to call Amazon up by 8 o'clock in the morning. Shit, that package is going to be on your front porch 3 or 4 in the afternoon. It's insane. We got a order from Walmart the other day, and they were missing cat food and something else, white vinegar or whatever. That delivery for the cat food and the white vinegar showed up before I got home with the food. Like, it's insane, the availability, right? The convenience of it. That's what people are not going to want to sacrifice, is the convenience of being able to call up Amazon, even though you're fueling the enemy. It's it's a convenience. They got you. I look at, hey, we're able to monitor that by where we spend our money. You go and spend it in Walmart, you go spend it in Target, you're just beating the CCP. Harbor Freight has a commercial on there, and it's got all American values, and it's the new year for buying tools. Like no, why are we buying Harbor Freight tools that is owned by the CCP? I don't understand why Americans just continue to do it. Manufacturing. You talk about manufacturing, hey, putting those jobs back into Americans' hands. Well, isn't it our job as parents to give those kids enough skills to go get a job? Especially some of these kids, I don't think they have a skill to go and flip burgers at McDonald's, let alone read a tape measure and tell you what time it is. Oh, wait, who's the ones that are screwing up? That's the way I look at it. One day we're going to pay that price, right? We're paying that price now. It's the convenience. It's everything's right there in your fingertips of your phone. Call up DoorDash, you get a ride, you get food, as long as you got the money. Anyway, anybody got anything else that they want to bring up here and really get out? I know there's lots of spaces going on, and people are pissed off. I really got to get it out one more time. Why is Google releasing 64 million mosquitoes? Why are we seeing boxes of ticks being dropped on people's property? I don't know. There's a lot of rumbling on YouTube. I can tell you that, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say, black helicopters unmarked, dropping boxes. What's going on? If you guys remember back, us talking about Zios, right? Zios is a organization headed up by Mark Zuckerberg to really give doses of vaccination to our wildlife. And I could really never understood how they would accomplish this. And the company or the representative saying, hey, we administered 100 million doses. It's just, man, are we being that foolish? Like, we're using all these distractants and all these different companies, Big and J, and all of this feed that we're putting down. Are we vaccinating those wildlife? I think we are. I think that's a story behind the scenes like no other. And as soon as realistically, that's what they want to do here, right? They want to take away the ability of trying to get unvaccinated meat or whatever. Well, you can't even go out and shoot the deer that's vaccinated now. Now you're talking about they're dropping ticks on us that are resistant to poisons. Number one, they're engineered in the background. Yeah, I mean, we understand what's going on as far as the Lyme disease. You see all the news about that. Like, this was an engineered government facility who actually put Lyme disease out there. Well, you know what I mean? It's like it's almost too much to take sometimes. So where do we go from here? Do you concentrate on your local, or do we worry about the things that are happening nationally? Of course. But guess what? You have no power in your congressional. It doesn't matter how many times we come on to spaces and we talk about it. Really just doesn't matter. Carol, Papa Carol, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hi, good morning, Marlon. I seem to have missed you the end of last week for some reason. I couldn't find your space anywhere. It's odd. Yeah, the 64 million mosquitoes is a lot of mosquitoes, and it's really, it can be very unsettling, especially for people in Florida, once they realize that their tax money is going to fund this. And you're right. Why is Google mixed up in all of this, right? Well, Google has those trucks that have gone around and, basically videoed or photographed whatever every address in the country so that we can do those Google Map things. And, that's all lovely and convenient. But so they've got all that technology, or I guess the means with which to release those mosquitoes from those trucks. So that's what they're looking at. They're not going to drop the mosquitoes out of airplanes or helicopters. And the reason that they're giving for this, which is really interesting to me and always has been, because this is not the first time they've done this. They've actually done these kinds of things periodically throughout, I don't know, the last couple of decades, where they take these lab bred mosquitoes that they've genetically modified and release them into the population. They've done it in Florida before, because the male mosquitoes are sterile. But the female mosquitoes don't realize this, and the female mosquitoes go ahead and release eggs that never hatch. So it's keeping the female mosquitoes busy laying sterile eggs is kind of what it is, and that subsequently reduces the mosquito population. Well, what do we care? Why? I mean, everybody's got mosquitoes. I grew up in Panama. You're going to talk about mosquitoes? I could talk about mosquitoes. But what they're saying is, it's to reduce the incidence of these mosquito-borne diseases like dengue and yellow fever, like when we recently had an outbreak of that, okay? But also the West Nile virus, which there's outbreaks every year somewhere. There's always outbreaks somewhere every year. So I'm with you. I don't understand why we have to do that. And this one is really interesting because they're also infected with a bacteria called Wolbachia, which is actually kind of common in a lot of insects, including some mosquitoes. But why have they intentionally infected these mosquitoes with the Wolbachia bacteria, and and genetically modified? And what they've done is they've irradiated them with like 10,000 times the amount of gamma radiation as is in an X-ray that you would get if you broke your arm. So that's a lot of radiation for a teeny tiny organism. So we've got these radioactive mosquitoes with Wolbachia bacteria going to be released into Florida. Now, we had up until Friday to state our piece, and you didn't have to live in Florida. Anybody could go in and you could do it anonymously. It took 5 minutes to go in and say why you think this is a bad idea, why you don't want this to happen. And they gave us up until Friday to do that. Nurse Michelle had a really interesting space about this last week Tuesday. If you want to go look on Nurse Michelle Talks timeline, where she had someone who's actually an expert in this type of thing come in and talk about this. So if anybody really wants questions answered about this mosquito thing, I would recommend that space from last week Tuesday. Meanwhile, you said something, Marlon, that I've really been rolling around in my brain for years. And I finally have kind of come up with a little bit of a plan that might help some people. And that is, we get pissed, we get angry, we get worried, we get scared, concerned, irritated, like all of this stuff from all of this stuff that we're hearing on a daily basis. All of these things that come up on our timeline or on the TV news or with friends and family, just life in general. You go to the grocery store, you go to check out, and something's you know, got you irritated. The checkout girl was wrong or the line was too long. I mean, we just have these negative emotions that come up for a variety of reasons. And it seems like since 2020, the reasons we have to get pissed, irritated, frustrated, whatever, have multiplied exponentially. And this is really, really, really bad for your health. These kinds of emotions are linked scientifically. It has been proven that these emotions are linked to all kinds of disease processes that will absolutely dysregulate your mitochondria and leave you more susceptible to all these chronic diseases like diabetes and cancer and heart disease, high blood pressure, all this stuff, these are linked to these negative emotions that we experience. And a lot of times we just carry these emotions with us. So I'm actually going to send out a video a day about this week. I thought I would just do it for my subscribers, but they actually got spoiled last week when I sent out my 7 pillars for health. They got a big dose of that last week. Each day I sent out a different pillar with a ton of information. So this week I think I'm just going to put this out to everybody about, about these negative emotions, what they're doing to us. And I don't like to bring up problems unless I've got a solution. So yeah, day 7 is going to be, well, throughout the week, but day 7 especially is going to be solutions. What can you do about this to regain your control over your health and not give that control over to your emotions and to negative people around you? Because they have the ability to trigger us. They just do. So that's what's coming up in Holy Health. And then next week, Sunday, we've got Marie 17 coming in. We're going to talk about this methylation process and what it does, why this is important. People are like, yeah, I don't care. Well, you should. Anyway, that's all I've got. Thank you, Marlon, and I'm glad to see you hosting a space this morning. Yay!
So, Carol, before you go, and that's a great subject. Did you ever watch people suffer from road rage? Like you'll see somebody cut somebody off in front of you, and I mean that person will get out and whoop your ass. I mean, if I think they had a gun, they would shoot you. I mean, just so much rage about somebody cutting you off. I mean, I suffer from zero road rage. I laugh, I smile, I wave, and that's the extent of it. I don't let it consume me because even today, there was a guy that was behind me, and he gave me some attitude, flicking the finger out. I'm just waving at him. If I want to involve that guy, he's going to be out of my life in the next 10 seconds. If you want to involve the guy for the rest of your life, pull over and start talking to the clown. So let's talk about checking our emotions. That's a great subject. One more thing before you go. Oh,
The road rage,
okay.
that's kind of a more extreme example, but it can be anything as simple as just a dirty look or shaking your head, or and when we notice ourselves doing any of those things, that's the time when we really need to stop a second and start asking ourselves a few questions about what this is doing to us. Anyway, go ahead.
So one more question before you get out of here. This they're talking about the fix, the infection, and really what it's doing is that it's giving you an infection to where you cannot digest mammal proteins, right? So now I'm hearing this, and a lot of people think we're hearing it for the first time, but this has been around a long time. This isn't something new. I remember even 20 years ago, hearing the same symptoms come out of tick bites.
So, alpha gal syndrome really was not on my radar at all until I actually contracted it 3 years ago. And I did a space 2 weeks ago, not yesterday, but the week before. The author of the book Alpha Gal Syndrome accepted my invitation, came into my space. She is a registered nurse practitioner. She also got it. Now, she got a very extreme case. Mine was mild, and I was able to get over it easily. But I didn't make a big deal about it because I didn't realize how serious this thing could be until, just here recently. I thought, oh my gosh, we need to kind of talk to this because people are dropping ticks out of airplanes or something. I mean, this is kind of a bigger deal than I thought. So I had her come in. She gave us a lot of good information. Her book is on her profile. You can get it through Barnes and Noble. They don't have it on Amazon. But I got a lot of really great information from her. Very, very smart lady. But this is real. I don't know how long it's been going on, but I do know that we just really never heard much about it. I never heard a word about it until I was like, why is my skin breaking out in a rash every time I eat red meat? Like I couldn't figure this out, and I started doing some research, and wow, what is this alpha gal thing? And looking into it, yeah, sure enough, I did get it. And again, mine was mild. Anyway, I don't know, Marlon.
So when we were younger, we well, on lot, but when we were younger, we had a whole big gang of us, and there was one particular guy that got fight, and from then on out, he could not eat red meat. Right? He would get deathly ill. He would have diarrhea the whole time, and he would get physically sick when he ate it. So this is I know from being around the sportsmen for all these years. I remember these cases coming out 20 years ago. I don't think it's been to the point where it is now. I mean, I just heard an invasion of ticks on the mainstream media. So again, I know this has been here. This is something that's not new. There are documented cases. So I don't want people to hear it for the first time and freak out.
Yeah, and it is treatable. It's really not even an allergy. It's a histemic response, an immune globulin response. And that's what they use to actually treat it as one of the IgGs. And I am no expert on this, so I would defer to the experts, but it is a real phenomenon. I don't know how long it's been going on, Marlon. That's a really great question, but like you said, I'm sure that somebody knows somebody somewhere who has had this in the past, and that it's not super recent. I don't, I mean, it's really easy to start linking things like Bill Gates and conspiracy theories, and he wants us to eat fake meat, and all this other stuff. Go screw worms and cows, or trying to move everybody to eating bugs or something. It's really easy to connect all of these dots and paint this big conspiracy picture, and it may well be. I really don't know. I try to leave my mind open that for possibilities, but the one possibility is it's not. One possibility is that the disease is just spreading, through the tick population, the way Lyme disease did. And I understand that a lot of people have belief and evidence that Lyme disease was a weaponized disease against us. So, I mean, it's easy to jump to those conclusions. That's all I can say.
You're absolutely right. And I know for a fact that these cases have been around for a long time. Hey, Tinfoil, if you can hold on, maybe we can go to Ann first. Ann, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't mind waiting for tinfoil though, because he had his hand up there for a while. I appreciate
It's all
you.
right. He got a couple of times to talk. He'll be patient. Go ahead. Ann.
All right. Well, a couple things. I want to say something about the ticks in a minute, but before I do, I have two new videos that I have posted down below concerning the price of freedom. One is it's a movie. It's a short video that concerns D-Day and a reenactment that I was able to film portions of. I didn't obviously put the whole thing on there because there was hours of it, but I took excerpts from it and plus a lot of images of the encampment, which were just, I mean, the thing was amazing. They don't allow anything that isn't authentically from that era into the reenactment at all. So it's just fantastic. And of course, I start off with a little prelude there that kind of talks about the statistics and the cost of what that, in humanity and in our soldiers, and the allies, and making, especially the first ones that hit the shore, if they made it to the shore, so it's a very significant day in military history and the history of freedom. In fact, I heard from a lady from France. She was born in France, has become a citizen of the United States. And she said she just cried when she's an older lady, and she just cried when she saw that because she said it reminded her of the respect and the appreciation she had for what the Allies did to liberate them from the Nazis. So anyway, so that's there. And then there's Missing Man Table Ceremony. I do go around the United States doing this live, but I've put the ceremony that I do into different increments. So I have the Soldier's Cross that's there on my profile. This is the Missing Man Table part that addresses the issue of our POWs and MIAs. And of course, I put that out right before D-Day because on D-Day, we had a lot of soldiers become MIA and never been found. And this, this is all through, I mean, since the Revolutionary War, there've literally been a 500,000 POWs and missing in action and so on. So anyway, that video is there for people who really want to take that moment and pause and reflect and share that with people that they would like to educate, like their kids, grandkids, homeschoolers, whatever. That's what it's there for. Now, over to the ticks. I live up here on the side of a mountain, and we hadn't really heard, we're not big TV watchers. We watch a little bit of news. I've been seeing, reports about ticks, but up here we pretty much have to live with the tick thing. I for years now, anytime either one of us is out for a while, we stop and we look, through each other's hair and different things, examine our clothes. And I was just going to say, I have gotten a few tick bites. None of them have been the Lone Star tick, so I didn't contract anything weird. I do have an allergic response to a tick bite, which I don't like, but it isn't, I was able to get the tick off within, less than an hour of being on me. But I took 3 days of a strong antibiotic followed by massive probiotics. And then, of course, the anti-parasitic treatment. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to be defeated by this. I have a nice garden. I live here and it's just wonderful outside. So what I do is I armor up when I get ready to go outside. It's almost kind of funny now, but I've got a special spray that it's called TickWise. And I also use Vicks Vapor Rub. And I put that all around my ears, my neckline, everywhere, anywhere that, something could try to crawl under. And I put the spray on my boots. I close up any openings for clothes, like socks go over the pants, inside the boots, all that. I just take those measures. I go out. I don't stay out longer than I need to this time because soon the ticks will be, in another couple of months, they're not really going to be that prominent. They have their season and then they go away for the most part. But as long as it's warm out and we haven't had a hard frost, we still keep checking. My dogs, I've been giving them a natural supplement every day. That's their little morning treat. And the supplement has natural things in it that cause their skin to smell bad to ticks and fleas. And so far, I haven't found any ticks, any fleas on any of them. And of course, they don't run through the grass this time of year. I have a dog yard that's kept very trim and free of anything extra, nothing hanging over. But it was interesting because even with all that I do, I still, when I come in the house, I take off my shirt, for instance, and I look on the inside because on the outside, I saw nothing. And on the inside of my shirt, I had 2 ticks crawling across my shirt. And this has happened a couple of times. So now I just remove, not to be personal here. I inspect everything that I was wearing. I'll just put it to you that way. And I inspect it inside and out. And then I go and take a shower, brush through my hair very carefully. And then I'm done for the day. So it's a little bit extra, but I've been enjoying my garden. I've been enjoying my life here. And I just take the precautions and then proceed accordingly. So we're lucky that we don't have as many of those Lone Stars or whatever, that are afflicting some of the areas that tend to carry those diseases you're talking about. But I just want to encourage people, do your research and find out how you can protect yourself, and don't let the bad guys get you down and keep you from having some exposure. We do have a deck now too, where I can sit out there and it's not under trees, nothing. And I just wanted to say too, they can fall from above, not just crawl up your pants. And some people put reverse tape on, so that they can get on your, around your ankles and stuff. But they can drop down from a bush you walk by. And I'm very careful not to brush up against anything, but you still have to go through the full inspection. But anyway, have fun with that.
Marlon, so I don't know if people know about, like, years ago, I was bitten by, what do they call that? The AT tick, standing for American Patriot, makes me allergic to liberal bullshit. Just want to throw it out there.
That's what you break out in convulsions.
Yeah, I just have these fits of what an idiot, shake your head a lot, your hand on your head, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Look. I think there are ways that we can protect ourselves against ticks. Hey, I do treat my yard. I don't have a problem this year. It's something that I have to maintain, yes, but I haven't had a problem yet. I think that hey, there are some remedies that you can use to prevent ticks from getting on you. Actually, oil of oregano. If you actually put it on your ankle, as soon as they hit the oil of oregano, they right. So there are some things that you can do to protect yourself without having to use chemicals. But most of the time here, when we're hunting, we treat our clothes before we actually hunt. Right? If you don't, you will be infested. Right? You'll have ticks and jiggers, and you're gonna look like one big puffball. So if you don't treat your clothes, the Jersey Woods are going to tear you up. Good.
Yeah.
Here's some interesting things about mosquitoes and ticks that I found out. So mosquitoes are attracted to carbon dioxide, which can be detected about 100 feet away, along with body heat and skin odors. Specific compounds found in sweat, breath, such as lactic acid, ammonia, and uric acid, serve as strong attractants. So that's the mosquitoes. Now, the ticks are attracted to human shaded environments such as tall grass, leaf litter, wood edges, um, and they detect potential hosts using specialized sensory organs that identify heat, carbon dioxide, movement and vibrations, and scent cues like lactic acid and natural body odor. Lactic acid keeps coming up in this, which is kind of interesting, in the carbon dioxide. Couple of animals that you might want to have around your yard to help fend off the invasion. Birds, bats, fish will go after various insects, including mosquitoes. You have also fish such as guppies, goldfish, bass. So if you live near a pond, dragonflies. I can't say this other one's like Damsit. Hold on, I don't even want to try to say that one. And then on the ticks, you have the one that stands out the most is possums. Uh, Guineafowl, chickens, turkeys, robins, and sparrows. So definitely keep the birds around, the possums, and also raccoons, squirrels, and chipmunks. So there's that too.
Well, you wouldn't think it, but in New Jersey, there's a lot of predators out there, right? Coyotes, red-tailed hawks. I swear to God, I was watching a Saturday. I walked out my door. I thought it was National Geographic. Here comes this giant red hawk down and grabs this chipmunk, and off he went, right? You can only imagine that happens to guineas and chickens, and so they don't last too long around here. You really got to protect them. Brandy, would you like to jump in there? How you doing? Good.
I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm just coming up to harass you about letting Rigo co-host your space. What? What? I'm just coming in to give Rigo a hard time and say hello.
Hey, I wanted to give him an attaboy for the CSN network. It's good stuff.
Yes, it is. It really is. He's a good guy. But yeah, no, I just wanted to come up and say hi and give y'all a hard time, make y'all smile on a Monday. And my birds are happy around me, so I'm gonna try to be happy too. Just want everybody to keep praying for Annalise. Hopefully, we all will be able to know something right after lunchtime. So everybody, just keep her in your prayers. Praying for a swift transfer with no issues, like the family asked a couple days ago, and just keep praying the same thing. God is moving.
Yeah. Text Marlon something getting buried under your skin and irritating the heck out of you and giving you some crazy diseases. I think ex-President Clinton came in. He'd probably talk about his wife. Are you there, Mr. Bill?
Mr. President, please.
So it's possible. It's possible I'm here. But let me just say, I've put some thought into ticks. And I really think they should replace the donkey as a symbol of the Democrat Party. And let me tell you why. A tick cannot survive unless it's attached to a host. And many times it attaches itself without the permission of the host. And it would rather lose its head than detach from its host. As to having body odor as natural repellent, this is why I only go hiking with my wife, who, by the way, is very upset with me right now. I never talk about our problems. But I drank her contact lenses the other day because she left them in a Dixie cup instead of putting them in one of those left-right containers. And she says, what am I going to do now? And we were fighting in the morning over. I said, well, I generally have a BM. In the PM, I can DM you when it happens and you can go through it. And she picked up the toilet brush and came at me, and I saw about 7 demons. And I've listened to everybody's problems today. And I feel your pain. But just remember, Marlon's freaking raging. Brand, Alan, that none of you have to wake up to Hillary every day. And that's my pain.
I mean, imagine having to wake up next to Hillary, Mary.
It's bad. It's bad, you know.
Thank you, Jesus, for my blessings.
Be careful who you choose as a mate. I gotta go. She's looking for me. God bless you all. And God bless the United States of America.
Thank you.
Thank you, President.
He is not your president, Marlon.
Larry. I'm advocating charity love, right? You'd rather bite your arm off than wake her up.
No doubt.
Anyway, so it's just fishing have a little bit of joy. Hey, Marlon, it's getting to that time, buddy.
Yeah, man. Yup. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got beat out of my inspection today. I'm not a half camp. Yeah, Brandy, then maybe we can say hello to Allie real quick.
All right, yeah, I'll be real quick. So I just want to share with y'all, in case I'm not able to come in the morning. So tomorrow night we are going to have a Right Side Rebel as our guest speaker, who is bringing on in the Protect the Children space, who is bringing on a dad who is fighting to keep his daughter's the predator that went after her daughter, his daughter, who essayed and murdered her. He's trying to keep him in jail. He was actually denied parole, but Dad is pushing along with Right Side Rebel, pushing for an SB 1008 to be repelled, to be revoked, to be whatever it's called. Because this is going to allow that predator actually out, who got life without parole in the very beginning of his sentence. So we're going to highlight her and Dad tomorrow night. So I just want to tell everybody, definitely be in there. This is something that occurred in Oregon, but this could occur in any of your states. And we want to make sure that we get educated on what happened so that we can give you the education to hopefully get that legislation in your state to protect that from ever happening if there's a predator who goes after a child. So just want to say that out loud. So thank you for letting me come up, and proud to be a part of this CSN with you, Mr. Big Fish.
Well, thanks, Brandy. Hey, navigating personalities will be the hardest part. So you'll be fine. Yeah, hey, and where we started out the space this morning was I referenced her book, Brooke, right? The coach of the 1980 hockey team, bunch of college kids and faced an insurmountable army of the Soviet hockey team. And great moments are depicted and defined by great opportunity, right? Now, you talk about opportunities, we talked about that. It takes hard work to come up with the opportunities. Now, some people might get lucky. I'm not one of the lucky ones. So we got to work at it. right? So that was kind of the notion of the whole space today. So keep on keeping on and do the best that you can. Hey, everybody gets bogged down sometimes. Sometimes you just need to pull back and recharge batteries. Allie, how you doing? Good.
Hey Marlon, hey Truth, hey Rigo. It's funny to see you up in co-host, and Brandy called that out. Happy
Oh,
Monday.
happy Monday. Yeah, well, Marlon wanted to give a little bit of love, a little bit of help for Marlon. It's part of the CSN. I say, sure, no problem. Let's get it going. So, yeah, it's always good.
I love that. Yeah, Marlon, talking about like recharging your battery, my husband and I are heading back from a long weekend with friends. It is nice to disconnect sometimes. Kept my phone literally in my purse pretty much all weekend, which was extremely relaxing to not have to be looking at anything and just be in the present, be in the moment. So we're heading back. We're excited to see our kiddos and kind of get back to our house and our life. But it was nice to catch up and see friends and disconnect from the news.
Nice to go away, Allie, but it's always nice to go home.
Absolutely.
I carried the torch for you. Come on, I'm ready to tag you back in. No, I'm playing. I love you.
They brought up our friend from across the pond, Mr. Dazza. What's up, Daz? And I'm sorry, buddy, I could not make your space I want to do, man. Some BS came up. So how you doing, Dazzy?
All right. You can text me no message. I don't know what it is with people who just keep ghosting me and then want to get me on stage and then have conversation with me on stage. Like I'm not that guy. Like I prefer it just let me know. Like, but it's fine. It's fine. I know you've got that big heart, and when that other stuff was going down, you're the first one to reach out to me and show me that you care. So it's fine. I was just listening. He's throwing me the mic, Marlene. I'm like, oh my God, he's dragging me up on the stage. Like, yeah, no, I'm here. I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Well, good to see you. Hey, listen, hey, you're an intricate part to the community. You know, there's a lot of people who listen to you on that side of the pond, and a lot of
I'm just this random black gay guy from Britain. I have no idea how I even found this place.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I feel that way too. You know, I'm just an average guy, right? I'm nobody. I'm not the leader, you know, but I am outspoken. So, you know, look, I'm gonna do my little part. Taz, Allie, Brandy, Ringo, Zach, you know, and Rick, and Will, Harry. You know, it takes some to do it, man. You gotta have the gumpster to want to do it. So, you know, today was more of a motivational thing for me today. I watched the movie Miracle over the weekend. I had tears in my eyes again. I've seen that movie 1,000 times, and I'm going to cry the next 1,000 times I see it. I don't care. That man had great ideas to keep those kids focused, great work ethic, and those kids knew what it was to be a part of a team. That was the better building part of it, right? And I see every once in a while they have commercials out there where some of these guys that are still surviving are there to do some commercials, and you know it's a great symbol for America. I felt like, hey, I had to put that post out. I feel like he was one of my heroes growing up. I remember specifically hearing that call of that game. It was fantastic as a kid, and it's even more fantastic as a middle-aged adult. That's what we need. We need a little of that, man.
Funny, Marlon, how you say you're outspoken. All you had to say you're from Jersey, and that explains it all. But
Come on, man. Does that sound like the typical Jersey guy? Like, I know.
Yes, you do. You do.
Yeah,
No, I'm from-
listen to my voice. I can't stand my own voice. It's so Jersey. It's terrible.
You've got one of the best voices on this app, actually. You really have. Truth too. He's very deep. He's just very quiet. He's like a ninja. He can sit in the space for the entire space and not say nothing, right? But he's got a great voice too.
Hey man, Taz, I thought we were good, man. I thought you said I had the best one that you heard too. It put you to sleep the whole nine. Now here you are, and now I'm competing with somebody from Jersey. Are you kidding me? Come on.
Oh, don't do that. They were in my space the other day, and I called Strader one of my favourites, and everyone's like, "Oh, he says that to everybody," and I'm like, "Oh shit, 2 years busted." Yeah, like I got a lot of favourites. You're my favourite veteran.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Dad, you know what, dude? Isn't it the best where, hey, man, you can feel comfortable enough in here and break my stones and stuff. But you can't buy it. You know you can't buy it.
Well, Daz, is it going to work if I just say, "Oh, you're my favorite Brit"? I mean, how does that feel? It doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel unique.
Okay, fair enough. You've got one of the best voices. Well, I can't lie. There's others. I'm sorry. There's others.
He put that carefully, dude.
I know. I'm grabbing because I can. I mean, that's the thing is we've built the community. Marlon has spent the years building it, but you know where we get to know people here online, and then a few of them have actually met face to face, and you know, and there's some good people. You know, there's a lot of bad ones. We know that. We have them bombarding our spaces all the time, trying to get up here and derail a space or bring some BS. But for the most part, it's a good community, good group of people.
Yeah, you talk about ticks, right?
Hey Marlon, can I take a moment to distract everyone for just a second? I'm
Sure.
gonna do
Go
a
ahead.
Rigo. I'm gonna do a Rigo moment where they call it the squirrel moment. So I actually just got off a call with my parents, and I didn't realize that Monopoly is a good way to gauge how you're raising children is how you play Monopoly. How you win, how you lose, how you play Monopoly. My parents are like, "Yeah, we played Monopoly, and you guys are raising some good kids. They lost with grace." And I was just like, "Yeah, I guess it's unlike me when we would play Monopoly. You saw tempers flaring when we played Monopoly, and we went all ruthless. And but I didn't realize that Monopoly is a good way to kind of gauge how people's personalities are."
It's a good family building game. Yeah, you know what? I never even really thought of it like that. We used to get heated, man. You know, I wanted Park Place and Boardwalk, or I wanted all the railroads, right? There was no denying me. Yeah, we surprised each other.
Oh yeah, all the
Right.
deals on the side of the table.
Yeah, we would be cutthroat and be like, "Okay, I'm gonna put all these hotels and I'm gonna bankrupt you, but if you give me this card, I won't." You're just hustling the crap out of family members.
So
Yeah, they were teaching it. We didn't even know it. Well, yo, Ringo, thanks for coming up, co-hosting, man. Give us a little break here. It's all good. Zach.
Rigo say, "Man, I was in roommate class."
Oh, you guys are talking about Monopoly. Now there's Monopoly on your phone, right? Isn't there a commercial with it where the Simpsons are battling the boardwalk guy?
Yeah, I play that, but there's nothing like a good board game. There's something to be said about holding those cards in your hand, holding that fake money in your hand, and actually like playing face to face. It is awesome. We try and maintain at least, every week we have like a family night, and so the kids will either pick out a movie or we'll play a game or we'll do something, and we just really try and prioritize that in person, off screen time, and it's awesome. Like I said, I mean, they're getting pretty cutthroat with Battleship, though. I'm like, whoa.
Man, so many people cheated about with Battleship. You know, they'd move their damn ships in the middle of it. You're like, what?
You were one of them.
I didn't do that. The people I would play would do that. I'm like, my little brother and stuff.
You know what? We taught our kids how to play canasta. If you want a family building game, it's like Rummy on steroids. Canasta is an awesome game to play. and there's nobody who knows how to play. Okay.
No, it's okay. I was just asking my husband, do people actually move their battleships or ships during battleship? And he's like, yeah, I used to do it all the time. I'm like, seriously?
Right?
If we were the dumb ones, we always got beat because we never moved.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna play a game, play by the rules. Otherwise, it's not a game; it's just a free for all.
What about the game of life? That was a good one.
Right? That thing never
I
spun
like
the right
life.
way, though.
You know, even Shoots and Ladders. Come on, remember Shoots and Ladders? Yeah, yeah. What was
Candyland.
the other? Candyland, right? Oh my gosh.
Sorry, remember sorry.
Yeah, I like Sorry. Sorry was all right. But I think you're right. Definitely Monopoly was the one, no doubt about that.
Well, I know the Brits. They got
Monopoly still cracks. Monopoly still cracks. Free parking, baby. Free parking.
right, but I know over there, Daz, you guys got weird games, just like you got weird food. Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
poor Dad.
probably. I know, I'm always like the odd one out here. You're always picking on me.
He gave you the torch today.
Badminton and bocce ball and stuff like that, or
Cricket.
You lot don't
cricket.
play. You lot don't play badminton. Play that in school. Like the Americans play badminton.
Really, buddy.
We played it in school, but yeah, we're more tennis or pickleball people.
Yeah, no, I like tennis. In terms of board game, Scrabble is the one that comes to mind. Do you guys have Scrabble?
Oh yeah, good one.
Oh, that was great. You know, I want to say pickleball is badminton 2.0. Like they turned badminton into a pickleball today. You know.
Yeah.
My sister just tore her Achilles in pickleball. So
Well, for ping pong, you know, ping is still good. I like playing ping pong.
I don't know.
never quick enough.
What is pickleball?
It's basically like badminton, except you got a bigger ball and like racquetball rackets, well bigger than a ping pong racket. It's same difference.
I'm talking about. Do you lot have squash?
Yeah, I'm not a big squash player, but it does exist out here.
All right, I know everybody's gonna bust my stones, but we used to play handball, right? We played handball in school.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Marlon got along with the cons.
Yeah, we used to make money playing handball, dude. It was $2 a game.
Hey, they throw craps in there and all kinds of other stuff. What about that tetherball, man? Did y'all ever do tetherball?
Ooh, that was fun.
Wait, are you talking about the game where Napoleon Dynamite, he's playing it at the end where you wrap it around the pole? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, man. Come on. You didn't play that?
No. We didn't, we didn't have that. That was dumb.
You would get tagged in the face so many times.
Come on now. Hey, I'm from the suburbs of Philly, right? We used to play stickball. Stickball was a good thing. Then we would play half ball. You guys even know what half ball is?
Not a whole ball.
No. Because, hey, we were always so limited on the spots that you could play. You had to play with a half ball because you'd send the tennis ball out of the court, right? So you would play half ball. This way you'd be able to play the game. So you put the tennis
Four
ball
square.
in half.
Four
Say
square.
that again. So what was that out?
Four square.
Four square. All right, and I don't think there's a soul in this world that could hit my curveball playing wiffle ball. Okay, and I have to tell you, I was the world champ cornhole last night. I know that I could compete with those guys.
It's just the name of the damn game gets me. What about
I was so mad. What's that?
Jarts, remember the big old arrow that could kill a kid that we used to just play with in the yard when we were kids? You know what I'm talking about, the
Lawn
jarts.
darts.
Yeah.
Lawn darts.
Yeah.
I know everybody knows what wall ball is. It's the giant plastic ball that you would pop against the wall. It wasn't handball, it was wall ball. And then every now and then we got tired of that. We played, what's that one? Throw the ball, yeah, dodgeball. There you go.
They made a movie out of
Dude, they outlawed dodgeball. The year that we were in, we ruined it. There was a kid, Anthony DiNardo. I'll never forget it. We used to play. It was called bombardment. It wasn't dodgeball, right? So they used to throw all these different size rubber balls, and you guys all know which ones I'm talking about. They had the rubber, the rubber smelled, right?
The red ball.
And you had the one, yeah. They would throw them all in the center. You had to go run and get them, and you would go pictures on your side, right? And this kid, Anthony DiNardo, hit this girl in the face so hard. I mean, it's like a small little, like 6-inch ball, and I mean, this girl. We were never allowed to play dodgeball again.
That's when people take a shot right to the face. You know you're gonna survive. It's smart.
She didn't even know.
Don't do it. Don't throw it at a girl. You should have knocked him out.
Well, this is the same kid who hit the principal, right? Got in a fist with.
Dude,
who does?
My buddy in the military,
Kids
dude.
play like something called Gaga ball now, and it's like in a Gaga pit or something. And yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a mix between dodgeball and foursquare or something like that. I don't know, but that's what the kids are playing now, apparently.
Yeah, something that doesn't make sense. It sounds terrible. Yeah, right. I was saying, my buddy in the military, dude. He crashed his car in the living room of his principal, his high school principal. He joins the military like he was a total hoodlum as a kid and just had the worst luck. Then he joins the military, and then he becomes the sheriff of the town where he went through his principal. Man, talk about a 180. But anyway,
Well, this is famous, Mr. Zapparelli. I'll never forget the principal's name, and he was oh God, he was terrible, right? That guy, I'll never forget. I was standing right there. He was planking on.
just the stuff we did. Still, I wonder how I survived. Quite frankly, back when there was no helmet law with motorcycles, I used to ride like such an idiot. 120 miles an hour and all that. You just wonder how you survive that stuff.
Do you know how many Molotov cocktails that we made? And I can't believe we didn't blow ourselves. In fact, there was somebody here with me, and he heard us talking. Hell, we were able to buy like M80s and quarter sticks of dynamite when we were 6, 8, 10 years old.
Yeah, you blow and crap up.
Hey, Swampy, you want to throw?
I can't hear him as I'm talking.
Yeah, wonder.
M80s? Oh, dude, firecrackers, the little green soldierman that we used to play with, and you put a firecracker underneath a little hill, and you put all the little soldiermen on that little sand or dirt hill, and then you blow it up. Boom.
We would hold my sister's Barbies all hostage, right? Oh man, we tortured my sisters, man. They were collectibles. They were probably worth thousands of dollars, man. We were rolling around in dog shit. Oh, it was terrible. We were bad. I don't regret a thing. I really don't. All right. Well, listen, we're kind of down to the end of it. You got me laughing here. I can't even see. Well, listen, hey, I do appreciate everybody that came up today. Ringo, I know your space is going on after this. Allie, your co-host there. So if you want to throw that out real quick, and then maybe we'll get a goodbye out of Ann and Rick and Terry and Daz, and we'll wrap.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for coming to Marlin Space. Thank you for supporting the Conservative Sports Network. We start with the punch more early in the morning, and then we end up here with Marlin hanging out, getting some truth bombs dropped on you every now. Wednesday, Friday, we get the reality check over in at 1 o'clock. So yeah, don't forget that. And then today we have the Colonel Maynard Show. Please come on over and hang out with Michelle, where you get some good information. We then slide on over to Street Meets Wall Street. They'll be on 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay. You know, guys, CSN Network, it keeps growing. We're a group of conservatives that are promoting each other. We posted it in the Purple Pill. I gotta perfect the commercial for it because I this whole speech. But thank you guys for coming. Don't forget, visit us over in the reality check.
Thanks, Ringo. And I'm thankful for being a part of it. Appreciate you guys adding us in there. Okay, that.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say thanks for the space, thanks for the laughs and warm welcome. Yeah, in terms of that disclosure space with the Pastor Didier, he loved it so much. He's coming again in about a month's time, and he's also said that he's gonna try and get another one of his pastor friends. I think his name's Troy Brewer. So I don't want to confirm it yet until it's confirmed, but I have been listening to his YouTube, and he's very interesting. So I will give you guys notice, but again, you know, Marlene, Truth, you'll have a spot up there just in case you guys wanted to share your thoughts on the topic.
Guys, man, I'll do whatever I can to get in there, man. And yeah, I was full of excuses, and so I appreciate your patience, Daz, and believe me, man, we're there to support the community. So great to see you today, Daz. I'm glad you came in and laughed a little bit. It was funny. Mr. President, man, you want to say on everything that's going out of space?
It's one of that whenever I played Monopoly, she always had a get out of jail free card. I don't know where she got it. I'm gonna close by saying that what the world needs now is love, sweet love, and not just for someone, but for everyone. God bless you, Marlon. Sure. God bless us. God bless him.
Too bad Mr. Terry didn't show up. I guess Bill like hijacks his phone every morning. So
That's what he does. He takes my phone. It's his partner.
It's hilarious, funny.
Well, Mr. President, Terry, I'm glad to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. Rick, I know you got make sure you post your space. Make sure we get it out. Ann, would you like to say anything? And then Ringo, you already talked. We'll go to Allie. We're out the door, Zach.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for what you do, Marlon. It makes such a difference in all of the co-hosts that you have working and all the people that show up, because this is one of the best places, best spaces, I believe, that I've ever heard on X, as far as keeping that wonderful balance between the spiritual, between humor, you know, taking a look at all the important issues, remembering veterans, our truckers, our teachers, the healthcare workers. There's so many people that have been covered in here that are forgotten people. So after saying that, I'll say it's never too late to like, love, repost, and share the space, because you never know if somebody out there might just, you know, feel a tap on the shoulder from the Holy Ghost to listen and then find their community as well, to say nothing of the helpful things that were discussed here. So God bless all of you, and look forward to seeing you again.
Well, thanks for coming in, Ann. And Ringo, thanks for coming in and supporting us today. It's important for people to see. Allie, thanks for coming up. Daz, always a pleasure, man. Zach, appreciate you coming in. Everything you do. I hear you've been working your tail off. So, go. See the truth, man. Thanks for coming in and co-hosting with us.
I don't know who's doing it tomorrow. I think you said you could tomorrow, right? So, I don't know.
I should be able to pull it off. We got delayed today. It might be a coffee morning, to be honest with
All right. Um, yeah, like I always try to end off the spaces whenever I host is just remember stuff. Just realize everything small stuff. Put the big picture, the micro, the macro. I mean, about this life is we all know the actual end of the script. God wins. So put God first in your life. It doesn't make a difference. There you go.
Well, listen, hey, I do appreciate everybody that came in and contributed today. Please come back and check us tomorrow, no matter who's up here. That's the better part. And I want you all to have a great rest of your day. Don't work too hard. Bless America.
In the space. Marlon, the space and landed, buddy.
We need tick, 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 boom.
Your mic. Send him a text. Wow.
Marlon, oh.
Just texted him. I'll jump out of here and give him a call. See y'all tomorrow somehow, some way. Bye, everybody.